Okay, but does it make your gameplay a completely different in all aspects of the game, or only one specific aspect of the game? I think it's actually worse than worse than a Hathor. Hathor, people say you can use it in TOA and like Guild Wars. You're really not going to use Ragdoll. Ragdoll's not that crazy better in Guild Wars and Guild Siege.
He has one role.
He has one role. He has like actually one role. He's one of the few units that have like one role in the game, dude.
You nerf him out of RTA, then he's better. He'll be the best storage guardian you own.
Grogan's like, hey, come down over here to me.
All right.
Hello, everybody from the YouTube channel. Welcome back to another podcast. As you can see, got a different group today. We got infinite group combinations that we can do for the podcast, but one person in particular who is back is Thompsin. How you been?
Hi.
Yeah, how you been, man? You've been MIA, sir. What you been up to?
I showed my stream some pictures of my trip to Taiwan and the Come To Us event that we held in Taiwan. It's pretty cool. I took an L, but it was just for fun anyway. And we had to get ready for an interview with all the second place contestants of every SWC. We did an interview between me, Llama, and Dennis. You guys know Charlotte X.
Yeah, that's right.
Third place. He was third place, but then we did like a kind of podcast together. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did they? Was it a Summoners War like trip they planned for you, or you went on your own, like from your own pocket? They flew you up there?
The time I'm with my wife is from my own pocket, but they flew me out there.
Oh, nice. That's pretty cool. That they're doing some stuff in Asia and whatnot. That's really awesome. Well, it's good to have you back. I think that was like 2 weeks ago, right? Last week was your birthday, right?
Last week was my birthday. Yeah.
We said happy birthday to you on stream. Yeah.
Belated, but happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. May the LD gods be with you for a new LD Nat 5.
Oh, I have some summons. I have like 40 something Lion Dark Scrolls.
Oh, really?
Ooh.
All right, let me know when you stream that, dude. I'll stop by and check that out.
I don't know if I want to stream it, but
True.
I hear some podcast.
Casually, you rip him throughout the podcast.
If you want to do a couple during the podcast, you can. You're in the middle today, by the way, so it's a nice spot.
Okay. Then I could do stuff like this.
Yeah, Thompson always does stuff, and it messes up the sound, but every time, dude, always does stuff. But at least we can see things now.
Do you guys see the picture? The llama's in the middle, I'm on the side, and Charlotte X is in the left.
Yeah, I see it. I see it. It's very small though.
But yeah.
It's very small. You're very small. I told you that already.
I am very small. Thank you for letting me know.
And then the event, there's a lot of people in the event. You guys should check it out.
That's crazy. How many people do you think were at that event?
Over 500 easily.
500? Wait, what kind of event is this?
Wait,
I thought it was a small gathering. 500 people? That's more.
Over.
That's more hairs than I've ever had on my chin. That's a lot.
Okay.
What are you guys laughing at? That's crazy,
Asian
dude.
things.
Wow, that's really awesome. Well, that's a legit event then. That's a legit event. Damn. Okay. All right, cool. Well, anyways, we'll go ahead and start and get right into the podcast here. We got some things to discuss, right? Obviously, you know the new violent changes. You've heard about it, but some of you guys have not been able to give your input onto the podcast about these particular topics and your thoughts on it. So we're going to be talking about a little bit of that and some other things that I set up as well. But we're going to start off with topic number 1 here, which is what I just said. New RTA season is coming up, right? Along with the new rune system. Well, I just heard my own voice. Along with the new rune system update. Are you ready for it, right? What are your thoughts? You can say anything you want about the new RTA system, violent rune system, and the ability to rune our units just for RTA and for the rest of the content, right? We can start with Thompson then. I'm sure you've talked about it or thought about it a lot.
Is my voice back to normal?
Yeah,
first?
you're good.
Okay, cool. The changes are pretty good, but I'm wondering if you have your runes on your RTA monsters and you have your guild monsters runed up, right? How do you snipe JSON files and so forth? You know what I mean?
I believe your file will still be on your main account. You know, the one for your guild wars and everything. And then the RTA one, I don't know if you can get the file for that. You're gonna have to like make a second.
It could be 2 separate files.
It could be, but I think
everyone that plays uses Optimizer, right? So how would it work?
I don't use Optimizer.
Okay, everyone else that plays uses the Optimizer, and for everyone else that uses the Optimizer, how would that work for JSON? Like, how do I use the JSON for Guild War units, and how do I use the JSON for RTA?
My guess is you may have to make a duplicate of it. That's all it is.
Just give it a few.
Your guess is irrelevant because you don't use it.
No, but you just make a second. You use the same file, but two accounts.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, two different permutations.
Do you get the Guild War file or do you get the RTA file?
You'll get both. I mean, the JSON file is an import of your whole account.
Then here's
If
the
your
other
account
question: when you
has the double runes, then
let's just say like I want to look at your runes, and when I go onto your island, do I get your RTA JSON or do I get your Guild War?
I would get both.
If you do get both, then I'm not gonna change. I'm not gonna do anything for Guild War. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like people could still snipe my RTA JSON.
Oh,
I mean,
that's
you
true.
figure this out though. Just like when they had that issue where you couldn't pull a JSON at all. Remember that hiccup they had, and then they fixed it. They actually still found a way, but they found a way through using like a Galaxy S4 device or something like that. And if you had used a certain phone, you were able to pull the JSON file. So they were still trying to figure things out. So it's not going to be like, oh, they're going to throw their hands up and say, there goes, Summer's War Optimizer. So they'll find a way.
They did say for a fact that they like the optimizer. Like they said that they like the optimizer. So I don't think they're trying to make it so we can't use it. So I think the implementation of this new rune system, whatever happens, they're gonna like try to figure a way. I think the optimizer, whoever's handling the optimizer, I forgot his name, will try to figure out a way that it can still be used for sure. It just will take a little while, right? Maybe not immediately be able to use it.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's gonna be very
I know
interesting.
I had mentioned something before we had these conversations, but I was just in chat last time. But like this coming season, it counts towards SWC.
Right.
So on Thompson's note, if there is going to be a hiccup with optimizer, maybe don't do the RTA spec or try not to make those changes. But I think it's going to be a little important that we do figure out what's going on with that, because those who are going to be using optimizer, if there is a hiccup, it's going to affect this season. This season counts towards SWC.
Yeah, it's two seasons, right?
If you really can't play the game without the
seasons.
optimizer at this point, you probably shouldn't just shouldn't be in that rank. Like if you are unable to play the game without the optimizer tool, a third-party thing that was not intended necessarily for the game, then you get no sympathy from me. Like you should know how to rune your units at that point if you're playing at that rank. I'm sorry if that sounds
I do
like
understand that
really aggressive or
to
not.
an
But
extent. I had this exact same
let's be honest,
conversation.
you're playing in the top 100 rank for a reason.
That's too aggressive.
It's
Come on, guns blazing. Like I don't know if anyone disagrees with that.
Optimizer.
I mean, it's true. Hopefully it's not gonna like be like, oh, you're now not G3, you're G2 now, right? You still have those units runed up.
Yeah.
But my biggest question is that when we get this new RTA rune system, is it already gonna have the units rune the same, or is it gonna be blank, right? A different system, and then we have to go in and rune things up. I don't know.
That's my question.
We won't know
like,
until
if
it
you
comes
can
out.
still snipe people's account, then I still have to keep all my units inside my storage, and nothing changed.
Right. No, but
Yeah.
I mean, well, in that
you
aspect,
can do the
nothing's
same
changed.
for Guild War, right? Why does it matter?
Huh?
For Guild War units, if you have a Guild War set on an RTA build, if you have everything in storage already, then you can just leave everything in storage, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of speculation still going around on how this rune system
How it
is going to
works.
be.
Yeah.
That's the curious thing. We have a lot of high hopes that it's going to be like a completely different manager, right? Some people are saying that, right now you go into your runes and your monsters, it's there, right? But you go to RTA and you click rune manager, and it's a different rune manager in that RTA area. So it's separated, right? That's what people are speculating as well. So it's kind of interesting. It's very interesting. Because if it is separate, then, in a sense, right, like how Thompson is saying, how will we be able to take down the two JSON files? Are they going to be the same or whatnot? And is that going to actually maybe help you so then you can hide your runes, right? Because now you may have runes, but you can put them on your Guild War units, and people who get your information, they only see your runes, but on your Guild War units, they don't know what rune is on what unit for RTA, which...
That's what I'm hoping
Yeah.
it is. But then that's going to be kind of inconvenient for yourself, because you have all your runes on the Guild War. Then for your main RTA, you're just like kind of confused when you're ruining up yourself. You know what I mean?
Right. Any other thoughts on the new RTA and rune system that is being implemented here? What are your thoughts
I
on
love
this?
it personally. It's allowing me to get back into Siege and Guild Wars contents because I 100% rune for RTA only, and therefore I can't ruin anything for Guild Wars because it's just going to be out of garbage at that point. So I can't wait for it. I was actually prepared for it already. I unruined so many things just going like, we're going to get this new update. And we didn't get it. I thought we were going to get it on that Thursday. And we didn't get it, and I had already changed like everything. I did not wait
Also,
for free rune removal.
no one seems to talk about the negatives of it. Like, imagine how toxic Guild War is right now. Now you're gonna have to face siege defenses that are like busted.
I don't think it's that
Like,
negative.
I'm gonna
to be honest with you. That's not
No, I
negative
mean,
at all.
dude.
No,
Like, I could make
good.
like a 280 Iris, you know, with like 279 Roke
Yeah.
and like something else, right? It's really boring to play against in Guild War.
Well, this is how I look at it. Like,
It
I
is.
get, well, it's
I don't
gonna
wanna play
honestly, it's
against the
gonna
whole
become
team.
like, do you outspeed? And that's gonna be very, very important now because people are gonna be putting their best stuff into Siege and Guild Wars. But at the same time, by bringing in this small change where you can, you know, ruin your RTA units and then ruin units outside of RTA. What they actually changed was Guild Wars at the same time. Like, yeah, it was supposed to be an RTA patch,
just
kind of,
change
you know,
Guild Wars.
help
They
you out
changed
there. But at the
everything.
same time, it was kind of like a Guild Wars patch because now you're able to ruin your best stuff into Guild. So it went from being the easiest thing, or some might say even the most boring thing doing Guild content. Well, now you really have to be worried. It's not going to be easy. And, you know, it might still be a little boring. It might be a little RNG, vial procs here and there. But I think it made Guild Wars and Siege a little different now. It's going to be tougher.
Hey, guess what, Thompson? You don't do Guild Wars. Your points are invalid. Yeah, take that, dickhead. You just said that to me for Optimizer. I get my stab back at you, bro.
There's people that just do Guild Wars and there's people that just do RTA. Now everyone can do everything. It's kind of like, I don't know.
I think it's good for
there's
people
no
that want to
diversity
focus on Guild
anymore.
Wars, right? So the guilds that are like heavily guild focused, now they can go like even harder, right? It's like vice versa. People that were really focused on RTA, now they can put some runes onto Guild War units and maybe try for some fun defenses, even if you don't like to attack, right? Fun defenses to screw people over because you can put crazy stats, and vice versa. People that were like mostly Guild War, guilds like militias, they can have a little bit more leeway and put some crazy runes on their RTA units. No.
Trust me, no one benefits from this patch more than I do. But just I'm saying, it's going to be very toxic and very boring to play Siege. It's just
so?
like,
It's already pretty boring. So anything that changes it,
boring to play Siege.
right?
Huh?
It's already kind of like stale right now. So this will make it a little bit exciting for a little while. Who knows how long? But right.
Yeah.
The only thing that
Exactly.
changes with rune deck differences is that more people will play RTA. That's it. Everything else will just get harder.
True.
Arena gets harder.
Yeah.
Harder. Siege gets harder.
Ugh.
Everything just gets harder. Except
don't like
in
that.
RTA, there'll be more people playing the game now because the lower ranked people who are like, oh, I have to choose. Do I want to like do Guild Wars or do I want to do RTA? Now they can do both.
I like the power of decision though, that they
Yeah.
could choose the
I
diversity.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Oftentimes even you don't imagine it, but some of the lower ranked players, they have some of their better runes. I mean, these probably don't look that good to you, but better runes on their PvE units, and it's stuck, right? They're like, I can't take this slot off because it's for my Giants team, right? Now they can, and they can be like, hey, I can have some fun in some RTA now, right? And try it out. So I think it goes a lot of different directions with these changes. But one change in specific, with the add-on of the attempt for Comptuous to kind of slow down on the boosting in Arena, right? Because of the changes. Crystal Shizo, I brought him in to kind of talk about that. How do you think Arena's going? Congrats on Legend again last weekend.
Brad?
What is it? What Legend? How many?
5 or something like that.
How many do you have now?
66?
64 only.
Yeah,
Ah,
Legend
64.
Legend number 64, right? 64th Legend. What are your thoughts on it? Is it the start? Have you seen? Do you think it impacts it? The changes and these rune changes.
I mean, for me personally, I hate it and I love it.
Okay.
I hate it because I always revenge people that lose to my defense. So in that way, it doesn't help. But on the other side, if I'm thinking about, I lost like 8 legends due to boosting last year, and they made that a lot harder. I mean, the only way to boost right now if you have like a very organized group. And anyways, if you have large organized groups, that will come out sooner or later anyways. So
Okay, can I ask you a question then?
yeah.
Do you think it makes any difference if they have large groups of people for boosting? It's still gonna be the exact same thing, isn't it? This rune deck makes no difference.
The thing is, almost everybody that boosts, at least on EU, I don't know for global, they have a second account and they just boost themselves with a second account. And that's how they all got banned in the beginning.
Okay, but how? Like, can't they still do that? I don't see how this change makes any difference to it.
It's more difficult.
What they did before is they would hit their own account. They would search their own account on the rankings, like early in the week, and they don't refresh the list. They just hit their own account, and they lose with a noob account, and they hit back against a slime defense against another account, the same account. So you're alt. So pretty much you're gaining 10-ish points per 20 seconds. And now by not being able to revenge successful defenses, that's not possible anymore.
Yeah.
I have a question for you too.
Yeah.
Go for it.
How fast is your Tiana?
Only certain people know that.
Only 337 speed.
Right.
Not fast enough.
Hey, hey, Thompson. I'll tell you this though. I'll tell you this. If we get to all meet up again and Crystal Shields is there, if you show him yours, he'll show you his.
Whoa! Not even stream knows my Tiana speed.
Runes, come on, guys, relax. Runes. You both like to hide runes. I know.
So that's what you call it. Interesting.
Yeah, it's one of those things, huh? But yeah, so I think the change, so now you can't revenge back, and the change of losing consecutive amounts doesn't give as many points is pretty good. It's a start, right? I really want to see them revamp Arena. So some of the things that we talked about before too, Chris, about Arena is that we'd like to see them give weekly rewards, right? You finish Conquer or Garden, you get additional glory points. This also helps out with people, you know, end game players doing it to get scrolls, and early game players doing it to finish their towers. Right, and then furthermore from there, I don't know how else they can change Arena, but these little changes so far is a step in the right direction to pique interest again into Arena, right?
Exactly, but I also think it's the first change since 5 years or something.
I agree. Yes, I think it. I mean, no. Last month they changed rivals. It gives you more points now.
Oh yeah.
That's about it, though.
Okay, and that.
Right.
Yeah. No, I like a change. It's very good.
Okay, that's really good.
It's basically only to stop boosters, nothing else.
So I don't know if you saw my message, Brian, but I can only be here till the end of the hour.
Okay, got it. That's fine. Usually the podcast is.
It's usually around an hour. That's why it's not a big.
Right.
Not a big
Are you heading out of the house or something like that?
Yeah.
It's okay.
I did
want
to go over something. You got it. Easy.
Do me one favor.
My energy
do me one favor.
will be enough.
It'll
be a 4-man podcast.
Do me one favor though.
One.
As you leave, can you just like mute your mic, turn off your camera, but stay in the call, so then it stays in this format for the.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Then that's cool.
Yeah, I was about to say
By the way, speaking of Tiana, I feel like in RTA, with the recent changes, she's a lot worse now. What do you guys think?
Tiana?
Like Chiwu just so much better.
Say again.
I mean,
no.
Wait, what changed? Sorry,
I totally feel it. Like, because earlier I was talking about Tiana, right?
Right.
But I feel like she's not as good in RTA anymore because Chiwu is just so much better. I like Chiwu more. I'm just saying that.
Okay, yeah, we can talk about Chiwu. We're gonna talk about this a little bit later as well. But Chiwu has been a big spike of a unit being used and tested out. And,
I mean, it's like the Tiana with faster base speed and also has speed lead. You know,
it's adding another speed lead for people, and that's something that a lot of people lack. Everyone looks at Vanessa, everyone looks at CR, but with the buff that Chiwu received, you're now seeing Chiwu in there as a viable speed lead.
Yeah, because his turn 2 skill is actually pretty good still.
Yeah.
His buff block.
The only thing you lose instead of using Tiana is the guaranteed. So, you know, like that consistency is what you lose. That's the only thing. But it's
you also miss out on like 8 speed.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a big thing. Missing out on that. But
and
I'm saying
speed lead, right?
Yeah. It's a
and
give and take though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a give and take.
Like, would you rather?
What's
more scary, like a Chiwu Hathor or a Tiana Hathor, right?
Depends on your setup, right?
Depends if you already have 2 speed leads.
Yeah, depends on what you have as well.
But you can never have speed leads, you know. Because they can
coming from the guy with a Nephthys speed lead.
If you have like Nephthys and then like Gani Hathor Sierra +1, you're probably okay.
Yeah, no, I even people steal my Nephthys or Sierra, I have to have like Jamayer or Oshubal or Chiwu or other speed leads for backup, even Tableau, right? So, yeah, Chiwu's pretty good. I think it's more viable than Tiano this season.
He's in a really good position in the game right now.
Yeah. I think it definitely pushed out Triton, and I think a lot of people thought the Triton buff was incredible. No, I think it pushed out Triton
versus countercleave. Triton's just insanely good versus countercleave.
Triton is still number 1.
Or sorry, as countercleave. Sorry.
Yeah, Triton is still number 1. Yeah, it doesn't
push
out Triton for sure. Yeah, no, I think so. It's not arbitrary. It's a fact.
There's no beating that base speed. It's impossible.
Let me just say this. I think Triton will always be good. Because even if you have 0 runes on it, when you pick it in the exact draft that he needs to be picked in, He's like almost always banned from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Oh,
most
yeah.
people will
I
opt to
played
ban
3
it.
games,
So
played 3
it doesn't
games
even
2
need
days ago
roots.
where someone picked a 5-star Triton, and I just had to ban it because
Yeah,
it's like,
it's
if that Triton's fast enough, I lose no matter what.
How could you say almost any other unit out there with 0 roots can be a good pick? You can 0 root that pick in certain situations, and it always gets banned, dude. That's how good it is.
As for strippers wise, I think Tiana is down to like the 3rd one. It would have to be Triton number 1, Chiwu number 2. Of course, Laura number 10, but we'll talk about Laura later. We don't have to all talk about Laura right now, all right? We could just...
Yeah, but how's Triton compared to Chiwu as the strip? Like, yes, I know Triton's got the better base speed, but for the strip though, that's why a lot of people were on the Triton train, and I saw a lot of people get off of the Triton train because it was not pushing attack bars back and it was not stripping. His consistency wasn't there.
But Chiwu's consistency is no different. It's exactly the same.
Yeah,
They're both
is it
regular
exactly the
element
same?
units. It is exactly
Wait,
the same. They're
is-
both
What
regular.
The
Chiwu
strip-
offers is a speed lead that he does not.
There's
He offers
both of
116 base speed that you can pair with a different speed lead and guarantee to outspeed almost any cleave in the game.
But
But when it comes to bringing a unit to a team, I feel like the Chiwu is higher than the Triton because you're getting a speed lead out of
Chiwu's
it to help your
probably
team
better
out,
for
and
standard
they're both
drafting,
doing
but
the exact
Triton-
same thing as you clarified.
But what we're arguing is that Triton is better because he is the undeniably best pick for that one situation, which is fairly
Okay.
common, which is
Okay.
right.
Let's-
Chiwu
one
can-
situation.
Let's
yeah,
also
he
consider. Wait,
definitely-
does the strip go through glancing? Both of them? If they glance, does it go through? Does the strip still occur? That's my
you
question.
can strip. You can strip.
You can strip, right? So the only major difference is what you're fighting against, right? Obviously, if you have Triton, right, you want to go against water units, right? You don't want to be so fire heavy, and vice versa. That's going to be also something to think about what you're drafting against most of the time.
It's
now.
also important to note that Triton's turn 2 is better than all the other strippers.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like two turn silence is huge.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like that Chiwu is more kind of the pick that you would pick as like in cleave comms or in like the Vanessa Legmaron cleave instead of Gemini now. But Triton is really a counter pick.
You know, every time I think of Chiwu, you know how I think of? I think of Fwa. He used to run like this weird Chiwu Tiana kind of like stuff with bombers, you know what I mean? In like RTA. And I think he would really dig that if he was still playing. Honestly.
He played a lot of
Also,
Pioneers.
He played a lot of
Triton,
Pioneers. Yeah.
Skill 2. Triton's skill 2 is not that good with Hathor, but Chiwu's skill 2 is pretty good against Hathor, with Hathor. You know what I mean? Like, if you go Chiwu Hathor, it's better than Triton Hathor, because you get in that awkward moment where everyone's asleep and you have Triton, you know, should I skill 2 or not?
You also have the element, the 2 different elements that help.
Yeah, that too.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go back on the topic a little bit here. For the question
sorry.
number 1. No, it's okay. We go on tangents, fine. But any other thoughts on the Rune update that's kind of about to hit in a couple of days? I believe the new season of RTA starts February 6th, so that's literally coming up.
So I
For
have a
me,
question
for me is depending on how it impacts the room optimizer, then I'll make my judgment. I don't know how it impacts the optimizer, so until then I could like say how I feel about it.
Okay.
You don't have to worry about the optimizer; it will be fixed.
Yeah.
I mean, your Jason is just an import of your account, so then your account doubles on runes and builds.
I get
So
that.
it's just coding. Give them a few weeks. I think Sandro will build it.
So, are
Give them a
you
few
worried that you won't be able to use the optimizer?
No,
or are you
I'm
that
worried,
people
like,
will be able
when
to get your JSON too easily.
No, I'm worried that when I snipe the JSON, am I going to get my Guild War JSON or am I going to get my RTA JSON?
Yeah.
And if I
we
get
don't
my
know.
RTA JSON, if other people pull my JSON, will they get my RTA JSON or are they
Yes.
going to get my Guild War JSON?
They'll get exactly what you get.
Yeah, so I don't know. So until like everything's
Yeah.
like clear, then I'll figure out like if I like it or not. You know, the new
I'm
patch.
pretty sure in the end they will always get both. Everything out of storage, they will get both builds.
So outside of that, the question I have for you guys is: do you like the change to points?
Where?
Because
Yes.
I thought about it,
Yeah.
and
the
I
RT
like some
points.
things, but I don't like other things.
All right. Let's let me let you open up and go in depth on what you like and don't like. Let's lay it out.
So the way the point change has been laid out eliminates the 3 brackets of hard walls. You know, the traditional 1900 wall that we always suffered with,
Okay.
that people suffer with. So it eliminates that, which is a good thing. I think that's a really good thing for the game because it allows people who are like cusping C3 to push into G1 a little easier. But at the same time, I think it has a partially negative impact on people who are in G2 plus because it enforces playing 30 wings a day even more than before.
more.
Why-
We were saying
I don't think
it
that
does
matters.
less.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Anybody who's in G2, G3, and you're not one to be doing 30 wings a week, what are you actually competing for? What is the
I didn't
big
say a
push
week, I said a
at this
day.
point? A day. I'm
Yo,
sorry, a day.
30 wings a
well,
day
I
is
lost-
3 hours a day.
I
That's a
lost
lot of
11
time.
points this morning to a C3. I was like, oh my god! Ah!
In
11
Special
points
League?
to a C3.
The reason I'm so in disagreement with the idea of always having to do 30 wings a day is that it doesn't punish people with bad win rate. It just encourages people to play. So like if you get 30 wings a day and your win rate is like 52%, you're still gonna climb higher than somebody who plays like half of yours at 57.
I thought we had some discussions that revolved around having a high win rate this season would, or not doing that many wings, but having a high win rate would benefit you this season. So in that
Having
aspect,
a high win rate always benefits you.
right? But
but-
before you had to do a lot of the wings, but people were saying like you don't have to do as many of your wings this season here, as long as you maintain a high win rate.
Exactly the same. It should be exactly the same, if not
Really?
harder. Yes, because the point ranges are even tighter now.
Huh?
Like
I
what
lost
you gain and
11
lose, it's just as tight, right? Are you okay? You like disappeared for a second there.
No, I was showing everybody I lost 11 big ones to a C3. Oh, it hurts. Oh, it don't feel good.
Interesting. But what if
Right.
we make
So,
an
okay,
announcement on this podcast
me-
and we tell everybody in the world, hey guys, don't do more than 15 wings. Then there you go. Now you only have to do 15 wings a day. Got it, right?
Let me try to explain it a different way instead of just talking about like how the point gaps work.
Good.
The point system is still based on inflation, right? Every match inflates the point pool, correct?
Yeah.
So no matter what, you always run into this issue of you are forced to play every single wing because you're always going to get one guaranteed inflated. Right?
No, but the inflated point is not guaranteed, right? You don't get that extra +1 anymore, right? That's gone now.
I think the difference is smaller because now.
Wait, didn't we talk about this last time? That there's no plus. Like usually when you play somebody,
it's pretty close. I'm pretty sure you still get the inflated point.
Oh, so it's still -15 +16, or that's its example.
Well, okay, for the arbitrary example, yes. Unless you have the exact same amount of points.
Ah,
It's still the more wings you do, you still have to do 30 wings a day. That's how it is.
So how do you think this changes then? What aspects were good then? I guess it was a more minute change than what it was.
The
and
aspects are good
what
is
does it
that
do?
there's no longer walls at C1 and C3. So like anyone who is F3 trying to get C1, they might be able to get it better, ignoring the people who are farming them, and then the people who are stuck in 1900 wall will not be as meshed and stuck there anymore.
There is another huge change. Like matchmaking, oh my god, you could play the same person 20 times in a row. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Or it'll take like 5 minutes to queue in a game. I really hate it.
Yeah,
that's only
they
Special
tightened the
League.
matchmaking ranks.
That's coming off of Special League though. Like,
Yeah.
there's not a ton
Okay.
of people playing Special League right now either.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a
especially-
bad way to judge it because I mean,
Okay.
more people are going to be playing during the actual season.
Fair.
Even during regular special leagues, pulling someone more than like 4 or 5 times in a row is very uncommon.
Oh, it happens all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you have to be like the top 10 people to pull the same person that many times.
Okay,
Are you in top 10 right now?
Wait, really? What?
In special league, most generally there's enough people that you're not pulling the same person more than 5 times in a row.
Really? No, I pull the same person all the time.
Every single day, every single
Like 10
special league?
times in a row. Yeah.
Jesus. The struggle of being in the top.
No,
So let's break this down a little bit. Can we agree on 3 issues that are still there for RTA? 1, matchmaking. 2, two is the walls, right? These are the problems. These were the problems. 2 is the walls, and 3 is amount of wings that we have to do consistently on the daily, right? So it looks like the changes really just kind of affected number 2, which is the walls, right? So it looks like those other 2 were not really affected by this update. So maybe in the future they will find some ways to help with the matchmaking and help with not having to do 30 wings a day, right? I mean, it's tough though. I don't know really how you manage having to not do 30 wings a day. It's like saying that, hey, if you want to be at the best, hey, I don't want to do as many to be at the top, right? How do you make that? How do you do
So
that?
what I mean is like if there are players in G2 who are playing like let's say 800 wings in a season and their win rate is like let's arbitrarily say it's 59% or 60%, right?
Right.
Depending on when you start actually playing those games will kind of depict where you sit. But most players with that win rate in that amount of games are going to sit somewhere between rank 500 and rank 350. However, you can have someone who plays 1,800 games, has a 53% win rate that can be just on the cusp of G3.
Okay, so can we name some examples of some games that have ranking systems where you don't have to grind it out if you want to be at the top? Because I can't think of very many, to be honest.
I don't think it's necessarily.
So, like, what do we want fixed, right? Of course, I see the issue. Oh, I don't want to do 30 wins a day. It takes a lot of time. Okay, cool. I see it from your perspective. But also, I want to say, is it this, like, something that is kind of known, right? That you got to grind it if you want to be at the top?
It's not that. Because the issue before was just, like, people complained about not getting a lot of points or losing a lot of points when they lost. So, like, if you were G3 and you lost to, like, a G1, you lose 12 points, right? If you were G3 and you lost to a C3, you'd lose, like, 20 points.
So I feel like the walls and the matchmaking are more of the issue.
But that inherently actually balanced out like those players, because if they were losing to someone who was that low of a rank, they deserve to lose like a huge amount of what they gained, right? And now that doesn't exist anymore. Like there's a limit to how much you can lose there, right? And it's also harder to queue into those people now.
But it's also more fair, right? You play more. You have more benefit than somebody that doesn't play a lot.
But that's a huge win rate difference.
I'm kind of biased on this to say that, you know, this issue lies more along the top players, which, I mean, from a business standpoint, hits less percentage of people. I mean, how important is it, right? As a fighter or conqueror player, you cannot do 30 wings a day and finish your fighter conqueror. If you are a top G3 player, you need to do all your wings every day to finish G3, right? Even G2, G1, you can probably just push it end of the season and you can hit it. True or false?
I think it's fine to push to a certain degree. Like I don't think it should be balanced around doing 30 wings a day, for example. I think it should be balanced around doing 20 wings a day. So that way there's an incentive to finish your 30 wings, but it doesn't feel like it's a mandatory thing if your win rate is high enough, right? So that way if Thompsin doesn't feel like doing 30 wings a day every day, if he holds a consistently high win rate at 15 to 20 wings a day, he still holds a really high rank. Do you see what I mean? Right now, it's like he has to do that and do 30 wings a day.
I see.
So like I think the system in general should be balanced to a different position than where it is right now.
Okay.
And I know that's kind of a weird perspective, and it's something different than people kind of talk about or approach.
Well, it's good. We need to view things from different angles. Even if it ends up being irrelevant, I mean, or relevant, we got to view it from different angles. So I mean, I'm glad you brought it up. Yeah. Definitely, I think we can all agree that the RTA system still needs a lot of work. Definitely a lot of work. Yeah. Being that it's their main thing that they're doing, I'd like to see some more changes. But I think the start of the year was a step in the right direction. I'm curious to see if they're gonna make any more small implications like that, or actually I consider them kind of large, right? Kind of, you know, changing the way RTA works throughout this year. So it's a decent start. It's a decent start.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on here to the next topic. Change gears a little bit, right? Change it back and forth here. Topic number 2 I have is about SWC. Right, it's kind of what we're talking about as well. Stoic just said this upcoming season will count for SWC for the players that are trying to compete in this SWC tournament. Both seasons, this coming season and the next one, will count for SWC 2020. Where do you think it'll be, right? Where are your guesses? Where do you think it'll be? Where would you like it to be? And why? And do you have any suggestions for the events from what you've seen, right? We've had Guild Wars done at some of these events. We've had a lot of different things happen. What do you guys want to see? And where do you want to see this event this year? To give suggestions, right, to comp to us.
I know
Actually,
nothing.
after SWC, I wanted to see the next finals in China.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Wuhan? You want to see it in Wuhan? Oh boy, that's tough. I actually I'm gonna agree as well that I actually wanted to see it done in China. Recently there was the Dota mobile auto chess, the $1 million tournament that was done in China. So I mean, I wanted to see it done in China. That would be cool, right? But I don't think it will be done in China. Yeah.
League of Legends does it in Shanghai, I think, next year or this year.
Well, I mean, I'm sure they're freaking out. The moment they heard about the virus, they're like, "Oh crap, our plans are kind of like on the edge here," right? But what are your thoughts? Where else? People said Australia. People said like Canada. People said maybe back in the U.S. again, right? Where would you like to see it, right?
Boston. Nice and close to home.
Speaking of Boston, if you guys don't know as well, me and Stoic will be in Boston for PAX East coming up in the end of the month, or end of the month, early next month. I'm gonna do some meetups in Boston.
28th.
Yeah, Stoic. Right now, I'm kind of planning out somewhere we can meet up outside the convention. I've been doing some meetups like in San Antonio where I travel, so I want to do something like that. Also, Tyler might be making his way. He got his tickets. But he's figuring out his arrangements if he's gonna be there. So let me know if you're gonna be there as well. We can set up
We'll figure it out.
a big meetup. There's gonna be a decent amount of influencers. We'll do something fun. Right? We'll do some tournaments. We'll do some giveaways. It should be nice for PAX East in Boston. But you know what's kind of scary is I heard there was a case of coronavirus in Boston recently. Yeah.
I haven't heard about that yet.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking about not
I would have
going.
known about it, and we're not really worried about that right now.
Yeah, but I heard about it a couple days ago, and
Okay. I'll look into it.
I was kind of scared of it, but also because I'm so Asian, my mind was like, God damn, dude, I'm not buying my ticket yet. I'm gonna wait a little bit to buy my ticket. Tickets might go down for Boston because ain't nobody want to go there. The coronavirus. So I'm waiting on that. But yeah, what would you guys like to see the events like? What can you suggest for the events? Like, what do you want to see? Like, we have the tournament, right? But is there anything you would like to see at these events, like these finals and these regionals that occur? Because everybody here has been to one. What's that? What's that, Stoic?
I can't say anything. I know everything.
You know everything? Do you really? Nah, you don't know everything, bro. Even Comptos doesn't fully know everything yet. A lot of times when they're planning out things, they say things, but things change all the time in what they do. But what would you like to see there, though? Like a suggestion? You know what I mean? Like, we've seen Guild Wars, like I said. We've seen RTA tournaments.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I would like to see the
what
Guild
kind of
Wars
activations?
again. That'd be cool.
I want to see more group things. So more things like Guild Wars. I had brought it up before. I'm not sure if I brought it up here, but I would love to see like some sort of like team RTA, and I think that would be so much fun to see.
Like the Guild Wars.
Like the Guild Wars action or something different than that?
Not like the Guild Wars action. I would like a new form of RTA where they bring in where I can draft 2 units and then my partner drafts 2 units as well.
Whoa, I want you on my
do
team.
battle.
You have Ragdoll Artemil.
Yeah.
Ragdoll, Artemil, Gianna, and Nephthys, alright? Just pick the +1.
Jesus.
Jesus.
Just take Krizzles and Hong. Just take Krizzles
You know what I
and
mean?
Hong like
So
Panda.
like you draft
You got them
6,
all now.
draft 6, ban 2, and you go in with your units.
Wait, how fast is your Tiana, Crystal Shizzle?
You know he's not gonna say it, dude.
I want Crystal Shizzle. You're out of my team, Stoic.
He's got so he's set.
Don't worry, Tyler. I'll team up with you. I'll use my light vamp. What do you have for LD Nat 5s?
I'll use nothing.
Oh, nothing. Thought you were gonna say Jean.
No, I still don't have an LD Nat 5.
How about Nat 4? Do you have a Martina?
I do not.
Oh, what do you have?
I have an Iris, I have a Frigate, I have a Beta.
Forget. Oh,
I lack the Tableau. No
Don't
Tableau.
tell me you have a Molly.
I
Do
do
you
have a
want to
Molly.
die?
I have both.
Oh, we summoned a couple mollies the other day. In a row.
I have a Molly Beta.
Oh,
I have a Fae, but I don't know if she counts as a unit.
everyone has a Molly.
Yeah, Comptos is like, you have an IRO molly. Why do you need an in-game molly, bro? Relax.
That's why he needs an in-game molly.
But yeah, so I'm excited for SWC 2020. I think they're on track. You know, watching them do these the last couple of years has been pretty nice. So I want to see them do more. Like, more activations would be kind of cool. Like, more things that people could do at the events, right? Go around and, you know, do dungeon runs. Similar to the first SWC they ever did, right? A lot of different activation booths is really nice.
Well, I will say something about this, and they're leaning more towards the esport side of things. So they really don't want to do like that's why they're doing Tour of Americas. That's why they're doing all these other events and stuff like that. And I think they confirmed that they're bringing back Tour of Americas too. So like they have all these things where they can do all these sorts of events. But when it comes to SWC, they want to make it really feel like an esport. So I don't think we're ever going to see that at an SWC again.
Really, like any of those activations, kind of festival thing. They're leaning more towards like an actual just tournament. People go there to watch a tournament. Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
I mean, I've never personally been to
Makes
like
sense.
an esport. Like, I've never been to a CS:GO or League of Legends like tournament, whatever. So I'm not sure, right?
What I think what I want, and it's not necessarily for like SWC, but I think that would be nice to do these at like meetups or like have announcements and stuff like that. Is they should open like really big community focused contests. So like, remember when they had the big art contest for the transmogs?
Yep.
You know, you host those kind of events, and then what you do is you reveal it live at an event instead of in game over just like some boring banner that nobody cares about, and then tell them the rewards are a year later.
I think the only issue with that
Relax,
is
dude.
look how this one turned out. Where's our transmog?
They said this year. They said this year. I think it's
first quarter. First quarter. Is
Yeah,
when
first
I
quarter.
think Come to Us knows I'm gonna keep buying L&D scrolls until I get a Molly, so they're never gonna do Molly. They just
I'm gonna
know.
tell you right now, they probably didn't know that, but now they do. But hey,
Now they do. Oh my god.
They're just gonna give you 3 betas in a row.
Taking on that idea, Tyler, I actually like that idea where, you know how Stoic said they're going to be doing Tours of America again and they're going to do events all over the world and like meetups. It would be cool if they hyped up those events by also maybe either streaming it live and telling people they're going to announce something at this meetup that'll make people want to go and make people want to watch the meetup and kind of bring more light, right? Because that's the main reason, right? At the end of the day, it's a business, marketing, right? They want more people to see the game. They want the community to enjoy the game. So I think it would be make it a lot bigger as well to release things at these particular meetups.
They did that
Top
last
2
year.
players of those meetups participate in like a team event in SWC. Whoa.
That'd be cool. Yeah. Oh yeah, Chris, what did they
Well,
release
so
on
I
last
would
year's
like that too. If they did something like that, where you guys got to do something in Tour of Americas, and then it affected something in SWC, where you guys earned to do something in SW, I think that'd be cool to kind of tie everything together.
Yeah, some sort of like show match for the
Either
stuff.
that or they could give a Molly to the top 2 players of the tournament.
All right, dude, relax. Yeah, no, actually, that's a good idea, right? If you're a top person from TOA or the tournament, you can go and do a show match, like Tyler said, at the event. You get flown out and you get to do a show match, which Twitch will totally meme you on. But hey, it's your moment of fame, right? To go up there and play a match.
What if
That'd be
they did
kinda cool.
cosplay as well? So if you cosplayed at New York and then you get put up there, like you were chosen to win, Orlando got chosen to win, and then California, Canada, and then you have your top cosplayers. They get flown out to SWC and they compete for top cosplay at SWC.
I like that. That's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
that's pretty
That's a
cool.
good idea,
Because we did have cosplayers.
Yeah,
That's really good.
Usually
we
people
do
get
have
paid.
cosplayers. We have a lot of cosplayers here.
Yeah.
Usually they just hire cosplayers.
Oh, I didn't take a picture of the Taiwan cosplayers, but the Taiwan, wow, they did it right, man. They did.
What kind of what kind of units that they have?
They had a Hathor. They had Beast Rider.
Beast Rider.
Yeah. Oh my God, they did it right. I wish I could find a picture of it. Let me see if I can find pictures. If anyone in chat has a picture, that'd be cool.
Oh
So
yeah,
the
but what were you saying,
Taiwan
Chris?
meetup.
Something about they released something last year? I guess they did kind of do that, right?
At Gamescom, they released Demon Hunters.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I would like to see them do more of that.
Oh, yeah, that's
'Cause
right.
that was
I
hype.
forgot about that.
That was hype, right? That was pretty hype.
Yeah.
Okay, some good discussions here at SWC 2020. I mean, we'll probably talk about it more as it gets closer. I don't know when last year did they announce like the full information about the tournaments and stuff? Not until like second quarter, right? At least where they like
Quite
told us.
late, right?
Yeah, a little bit later, like second quarter. So
Like
we're
a
not.
month before the first qualifier, I think.
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that. They give the whole rundown. They make the cool videos like 4 contestants. Well, they have somebody do that and make that video. Yeah, I'm curious to see that again. Right, on to topic number 3 here. Topic number 3 is a little bit talking about the meta because it's currently still a meme, right? With Thor being so strong in the meta and everything. Do you think the meta is exactly the same? Yeah, or what is different? And if you think it's exactly the same, then what do you think can be changed in the current meta?
I think it's kind of the same. Really
Plus
hasn't changed
Chiwu,
too
that's it.
much.
Plus you?
Plus Chiwu, plus Rocky.
The
Yeah,
balance
more
patch
Rocky,
was
that's
so
it.
underwhelming, right?
What's that?
The balance patch was very underwhelming.
Was it under? What was the big ones? Rocky. There was only a couple highlights like Rocky.
Rocky got a big buff.
I think
Chiwu
Rocky
got a
changes
big
the meta
buff.
a little bit because that's
The
less true on
Vela
our
Jewel
Vanessa.
is
Vanessa.
with the second
Fermion.
skills.
Yeah, Vela becomes more even stronger.
Oh,
as a
I
unit.
tried Villa. I don't like him. I don't know. He's not that much better. I take it back.
Wait,
Yeah.
it's second skills just more
He's
consistent.
actually so
What's
good.
so bad?
No, I mean he's not that much better. That's what I'm saying.
That's like
Okay,
saying you.
okay.
That's like saying you've
Yeah,
never
we
used
can
a certain
nerf that.
unit.
They nerfed Fermion though. Fermion got the nerf.
Yeah,
Kind
Fermion
of.
took that big nerf. Yeah,
That's a pretty
wondered, yeah.
significant nerf, actually. That's a pretty
That's a good
significant nerf,
glance.
considering
Wait,
that's like half his
how
kit.
how is that significant of a nerf? Can you explain it to me because I don't fully understand.
So before, if you glanced, you could still provoke people.
Right, but then now,
So-
but
so
I'm
now
asking
if
you.
you glance, you can't provoke.
Yeah,
at
but
all.
I'm asking you.
It's like
It kills
uploading
you
it.
with the-
Yeah,
So because
uploading.
that was like
That
more than half of his
glancing
kit.
list that
How-
should not qualify as nerfs. Why is it everyone keeps saying that glancing list? Oh,
Okay.
this was nerf. Leo was nerf. This was nerf. Stop looking that as a nerf and a buff to glancing, and that list is only going to get bigger. If they
I
had
mean, it
applied
doesn't
every
matter,
unit
it's
to that
both.
list and
It's
said
both, though,
glancing
Stoic. Okay,
affects
yeah,
you,
same thing
you
you're saying,
can't
it's
you,
the
they
same
would have
way,
ruined the
Stoic.
meta.
We're saying literally the exact
the
same
same
thing in a
thing,
different
yeah.
way.
Yeah,
exactly.
You just
But-
refuse to see it already.
empty and glass is half full. Same glass of
To-
water.
To
Let
buy
me-
something, you have to nerf something.
How
That's
big
just
of a
how it
nerf
works.
is that to Fermion? Then you said it's huge.
But I like the passion.
Yeah,
Wait.
like half his kit, dude.
No,
Half
no,
his
but I'm
kit
just
is
asking you,
provoking
how
people.
big of a nerf is it to Fermion? How often does a dark unit glance without glancing debuff or glancing buff on him? Tell me how
do you
often.
see a Ganymede? How often do you see a Ganymede in RTA? Oh, that's what I thought.
But I'm just saying though, how often and how often have you used Fermion in
Also,
RTA?
how
If,
often have you
if
seen-
you're a Fermion user, now you're just sad.
No, but if you're a Fermion user, you run double immunity. You're an Amelia Veladjul player, right?
Yeah.
You're an
Daphnis
immunity
Lord.
defense player. So I mean,
Double immunity
Daphnis
is very
how
it's
big of a
countered
nerf
very
is?
often.
I know it's a nerf, but how big of a nerf is that, man? Like, let's be real,
I get it. I get it.
right? You get it.
It's
Right?
not
But
that
it's a
big
nerf.
of
It is a nerf.
It
To
really
the,
isn't.
to the unit itself, it's a big nerf.
Also,
To the-
imagine like,
the grand
doesn't this
scheme of,
happen a
like,
lot?
really hard to
Doesn't
do.
this happen a lot, Brian? You pick double immunity Fermion, right? And then they ban the Fermion, and you're just stuck with like 3 immunities. You're like, oh fuck, I went double immunity for like what? You know what I mean?
I guess,
I'm
but you
double
still.
immunity Ada, and then they ban Ada.
Like,
I'm stuck with double
it-
immunity.
it makes your-
time.
Okay, well, if you pick double immunity Arda and they ban Arda, you're just stuck with double immunity, right?
yeah.
We stuck with double
Oh
immunity.
wait,
to
oh you have
Ragdoll.
Ragdoll too. Oh, that's your strategy. My bad. Sorry. Oh yeah. So you do need Arda, Ragdoll, double immunity. Okay, all right. That's a pretty good strategy. Man.
There we go. There we go.
You're very pro.
But yeah, I mean, I can see it from both perspectives. I'm not sure which perspective I would take. It's the same but different, right? The way Stoic's looking at it and the way Thompsin and Ty looking at it. I think it's both right. It's just interesting.
Me and Tyler are not disagreeing with Stoic. We're saying we're
Yeah,
saying
we're-
the
yeah.
same thing.
Yeah.
We're saying the same. Like, yeah, we
thing.
agree with you.
I
Either
just
way.
hate when you focus on a unit and you say he got nerfed because
Oh,
of
I see
this.
what you mean. Yeah.
But what I will say is that list is going to get bigger. It's going to get
Well,
bigger. There's
so
going to be
it
more units
depends.
applied to that glancing list.
What is the point of having that like progressive change and not just change it all at once?
If they
like,
changed it all at once, it would have been too drastic for
How
a
would it be too
season that's
drastic?
going to
They
be
would just
added to
they would make the
SWC.
game consistent. They would add consistency to the game. One of the things that we actually need in this game because nothing is consistent.
But they're not ready to take that big step. Look how long for them to take a violent change. You know what I mean? They were not ready to make that step.
You want them to buff glancing, but you're defending that they should do it slowly
Yes.
instead of just make that change.
Yeah.
Yo,
Well,
Stoic,
if
you're
they
just
had made
mad
the
you don't have a
change, what if it
Fermion.
was absolutely devastating? They can't just go and they take the change back. Oh, sorry, that was bad. Like, let's just take that. Let's just take it all back. You know what I mean?
So
They're not going to
you'd
do
be-
that. They're going to
You'd be less
slowly
mad if you had a
introduce it.
Fermion.
What's that?
If you had a Fermion, you'd be less mad.
I have a Leo.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying.
I draft Leo a lot.
I'm gonna tell you
But
exactly
also
what's
run
happening.
Ragdoll.
Very
You
high
also
resistance.
you also don't draft Leo for the attack bar reduction though, so it doesn't matter.
True.
But it did get buffed, and I do like the attack power reduction when I get it.
I'm gonna tell you exactly what's happening this year. Glancing is gonna be a stronger debuff, right? They're gonna make the list longer. Glancing will be stronger.
Yep.
Ganymede, as you
Glancing
said,
is
has glancing. Now Ganymede is gonna be considered too OP again, and they're gonna gut him for the 50th time. That's what's gonna happen, dude. That's what's gonna
Yeah,
happen.
There's not
attack
enough
rate.
units that apply glancing that people are using.
But it's just Ganny's always considered like the unit that always gets gutted all the
Yeah.
time,
This-
dude. All the
reason,
time.
The reason that people don't use glancing as like a main focus is because just like anti-crit, it's inconsistent.
I
Right?
feel like glancing is more consistent than anti-crit.
It
What's the
is.
difference though? It feels more consistent, right?
Yeah.
Than anti-crit. Anti-crit just isn't. I don't know. What is the probability difference?
Glancing is
30%.
always an extra, right?
But also, the units that provide anti-crit aren't that great either, right?
Yep.
Like the Water Drunken Master or Beta, they're not that great either, right?
Eleanor.
Eleanor, okay.
No, Eleanor.
Wait.
Poor Eleanor.
Isn't anti-crit and glancing actually different? Glancing makes it so you have a higher chance to glance. Anti-crit is to not crit.
To not
So-
crit, yes.
so it-
Anti-crit is much worse. Than,
So it's basically not
than-
even glancing. So they should make a glancing.
Glancing is
buff.
way better.
Right. So it's technically different stuff. Same but different technically. Right, I got that
The
confused.
point I was making is they're both terrible. Like for consistency purpose. Like all the other debuffs are consistent, right? You attack break, 50% attack is gone. You defense break, 75% defense is gone. Right? Those are consistent things.
Tell that to my glancing
Anti-crit
debuff
is
put
not
onto
consistent.
Diana.
Glancing
Glancing
debuff
debuff
is
on
not
Diana
consistent.
always feels good, dude. Glancing
Until like
buff on
violent
Diana.
proc and it doesn't matter.
yeah, true.
4
Well-
glances and then a violent proc easy.
What about you, Chris? What do you think the state of the RTA meta is right now? Is it changing slowly, a little bit different, or is it? And what can we do to make it better, man? What do you think?
I'm actually mostly curious how much impact the Vio change has on the meta. So do we see more people, instead of going full Vio, also adding more Despair, Swift sets, etc. in there?
It's not changing. People are still running 4 Vile units all the time. What I don't like is how consistent 12% is. I don't think 12% should be that consistent, and I have been 12%ed in abundance of time because I don't run a Vile unit sometimes. I don't. I run Ragdoll on Vampire, Ada on
but that means you have a much larger sample size of running 12%.
Yes, but the 12% is very consistent against me, and I feel like I feel like that consistent.
People don't realize how many times does your opponent's unit move in your RTA match. 12% is like 1 every 9 times, dude. Right? And if your opponent's moving a lot, it's moving, taking a lot of turns in your match. You're moving, they're moving. You got like 50, 60, 80 moves in one turn. 12% is gonna happen a lot. It's just the ones that you feel because it's so impactful. You know what I mean? Like, that one proc that you don't want.
Right.
Yeah.
But I can't help but think back to the Antares days where Antares was 12% to gain his additional turn at any time, and he was not considered usable then.
But the 12% is based on 4 units.
It's not that he wasn't considered usable, it's that he wasn't considered oppressive. Because there were lots of us who still used it. Like Fawn, I used it all the time. When it was like...
Yeah, I know you too.
It was still good. The thing is, it just wasn't like OP.
Yeah, I'm honestly, no matter what a lot of people saying, obviously the community is memeing on it that, 12%, and also, hey, it didn't change anything, or hey, it doesn't look any different. I'm actually curious to see the battles and the actual statistics in the long run of an entire season and what it looks like, to be honest. And there could be a lot of changes. People might change their units to, be not on Violent anymore, right? Like, let's say, for example, like Ragdolls, right? There's no reason to go Violent anymore. You want it on Vampire, right? You want it on Vampire. If you have it on Vampire already, so be it. But there are a lot of Violent Ragdolls, and they're going to change that, right? And those units will be changed now and lean towards that non-Vile set. So that will change some things.
I think it's really arbitrary to say
it will benefit.
Not run. Sorry, go ahead.
Go, Chris.
In a way, it will benefit your team as well, Stoic, because you don't run a lot of Vio. So the moment you have that one Vio unit, and it's a key unit, it's a key counter, it will have more chances to get a
people
turn,
keep banning it is my issue.
And change your Vio sets.
I bring one because honestly it is incredible to be running that one Vio unit because you do get a lot of procs your way.
This is kind of the discussion that we had with was it last week with JMac and Josh when we were here. We were talking about it's like not that many things are going to change in terms of like the amount of violent units on team, right? There's really not that much of a reason to not run violent per se, like especially for you, Stoic. So I'm going to use your team as an example. If like you have one violent unit and then you have your Ragdoll on Vampire, it might as well just be on violent, right?
Honestly, I want to change my Ragdoll to Violent. I don't want him on Vampire.
If you're complaining that people are banning your violent unit, then it makes sense to have that second violent unit, right? Or you could do like a violent Arda or something, right?
I don't know. You can take it from both perspectives, right? You can also think of it as you want to minimize your violent units to the ones that are really important to be on violent, because a violent proc on a Ragdoll won't be as beneficial.
But a 5% bonus doesn't really make a difference. Would you rather have 4 chances to hit 12%, or would you rather have 1 chance to hit 27%?
I would rather have the unit that I would want to violent proc, than waste it on Ragdoll over the course of 1,000 games. A Ragdoll violent proc is not going to do me anything, right?
It's very easy to see when a unit's not on violent though, because you can just tell by the speed generally, and then you can just target the one that's violent, and then there's no more violent, right? Like if someone brings an Aegir and a whole bunch of units that most likely aren't on violent, you kill the Aegir. Now you've just fight a Swift team, right? That didn't kill you on turn 1.
I mean, but that's I don't know if that's directly the point. There's always going to be that kind of counter argument. Oh, just target that unit. Just target that unit on whichever way you build it, right?
But that's what I'm saying. Like
so I don't know if that's fair.
It's 4 chances of 12%. Are, in my opinion, are much more valuable than 1 chance at 27, even if that unit is more valuable, even if it's like a Hathor, for example.
You're not taking in the other 3 sets there.
Units that really benefits a lot from violent procs, and you bring like a whole team of like Swift or Despair, and you bring like one unit in, like a violent Antares, violent Josephine, or like violent Sierra, or just like one unit that benefits a lot from violent procs, and then the whole team's kind of like on Despair or Swift. Oh my god,
that unit will benefit, right? That's what I'm saying. Like you depending on how it goes. Right? Let's say you have Vern.
So the benefit of that also requires the enemy to proc as well too, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
right, but
well,
we're just talking on average of your matches, right? You're gonna have opponents with 2 to 3 vial sets. Usually is an average match, right? Let's say Stork goes in with his draft here. He goes in with a Leo, Ragdoll, both on Vampire, Arda on Despair, and the only vial units he's gonna be having is like, let's say, a Verd. That Verd's gonna be popping off most of the time in the course of 1,000 matches when it's on his side, right? That can be a huge benefit.
Verd is okay, but yeah, there's some units, man, on Violent. Gianna, Sierra.
But you see, it's, like I can see Tyler's argument too. That's why I'm saying there's so many permutations of the way that this can pan out and play out, depending on how people are ruining their units. You know, it's kind of mind-boggling. That's why I'm interested to see this season what happens. Right? What actually
The way I
happens.
look at it is I've seen so many RTA matches where you run 4 vial units and the procs are just not in your favor. You're just not procking with 22%. I've seen
that's so
of
anecdotal because I could just argue the same thing. I played matches where somebody just procced against me every single turn. Right, that's completely anecdotal, and it doesn't really hold that much merit for either of us.
Also, in Summoner's War, when you get the first turn, when you get the first kill, is more beneficial. So let's just say you have 4 monsters on Violent, and you kill 1 monster of theirs off, you are most likely to win too, right?
Here's the other thing with 4 violence.
Whoever gets the first Violent proc is always better. So it's still better to have.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you have 4 violent units and you get the first proc on one of them,
exactly,
we had an advantage, like a huge advantage.
It doesn't matter like how much.
Can you imagine like your first turn you hit Thor skill 2, skill 3, it's over, GG.
Right, but the thing is, though, I will have to say that sometimes when we have these discussions and we have these arguments, a lot of time we revolve it around, oh, I feel like the 12%. It's like that shouldn't be the basis of our argument. Our argument should always be based upon the numbers, right? Now you have a higher chance to proc, not if the unit is gonna proc or not, or you see them proc or not, right? Because that's not really something to base it on. You only can base it on the number that, hey, now that my opponent has so many violent units, I only have 1. I have a higher chance to proc on this unit, right? Not saying, oh, but the Verd doesn't proc, or oh, but the Antares always procs. Those statements are not really fully valid, right? In these arguments, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's tough sometimes when we have these discussions, right? It goes kind of towards that direction of how we feel and what we experience, right? Because that's not the numbers. That's not the way it pans out. But yeah, very interesting.
We'll have to see.
The last thing I'm gonna say before I go is like I'm just gonna repeat it again. Like 4 chances at 12%, or even 4 chances at 22%. That first turn is so significant. Like Thompson said, it's just it means way too much in a match if you can start the match 3v4, right? It's way too good, especially if it's a really strong support, right? An Aegir procs, a Diana procs, you know, a Sierra procs or something. It's just it's
like units that could push attack bar back. You get that first turn. Ooh.
Yeah. Right?
That's always. But the thing is it true to say that has always been there? Like even right now, right? And before that, it's always been there. Getting a proc, taking first turn has always been strong. But now with the changes in the long run of your match, it's gonna be disadvantageous to you.
That's why we're arguing don't draw your matches out. Just win and just have the early advantage, right? That's
so
why
play style instead of rune style change, right? Play style change too.
But I have to go. So
okay.
see ya.
All right. See you later. And what were you saying, Chris?
My
Go ahead.
play style is a marathon, so
True. Yeah, well, that's the.
Oh, yeah, your comp.
Oh, you could just click the camera thing, Tyler. There's a camera thing that you can just click off. Yeah, there you go. What were you saying, Chris? You were saying something.
I was.
Yeah, just before Tyler gave his finishing statement.
I don't remember what I wanted to say.
Anyways, yeah, I'd like to see some more meta change. Definitely, it's still the same, but I will continue to say the same thing every single week, and that is that meta change occurs also not just by buffs and balance patches, but by us willing to use other units and try things out, right? Unless we do that, there's not going to be a lot of changes as well. Unless we explore and try things out, there's not going to be any changes, man. Because we kind of, in essence, have a decent say in what the meta is and what we use.
Yep.
Right? So we're stuck on this, and nobody can figure out a way to get out, or nobody wants to try to figure out how to beat Hathors, right? And figure out other ways, then we won't get out. Same way Artemil used to be so OP, and finally people are like, oh, look, there's a Lauren change, right? But we're going to use Lauren, right? There's a Lucia there. We're going to lose the Lucia. We're going to make some changes and, figure out ways to battle against that. So we gotta actively figure out.
I think Summoner's War has its fair share of brewers. Like a lot of people messing with different builds and different. So I wouldn't say that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the minds of some of them, like Fate Mem and stuff like that, on what they use, right? What they try.
There's also I met this guy called Gaia.
Gaia.
Oh yeah, Gaia.
Yeah. He's pretty cool. Like he's trying out different stuff like Violent Rocky, or yesterday I queued up against him. He went Violent Juno on me. Just different stuff. Yeah.
I would say honestly, people like you as well, Thompson. I see you try a decent amount of stuff. Right, you have fun with it too, but you try a decent amount of stuff. You know,
yo, my stuff is easy, man. All I do is put like a fast set on random units and just call it a day and play whatever I want.
The thing is though, Thompson does interesting things, but almost everything works well because of the runes, man. And to an extent, it works decently well because of the runes. All right, let's hop on to the last couple topics here, which are kind of meshed together. It's just buffs and nerfs, right? Anything we want to see change, buffs and nerfs, kind of fits in with the meta change as well. Buffs, nerfs, and open discussion here for the next 5-10 minutes. Anything in chat as well.
I still need Daphnis's third skill down at least once.
It's kind of fast.
Gotta go down at least one more turn, 4 turns at least.
Daphnis has his fair share of counters nowadays, though. Everyone has like a Tyrannies or a Molong or whatever.
Everyone has a Tyrannies. Ah, that's right.
Just Nemesis Triana is also a counter. But the only thing is, though...
Yeah, exactly. Everyone has their fair share, you know. Vanessa, Triana, etc.
But Rocky, though, dude. Can we talk a little about Rocky? She's so good. I think her S3 is so fast.
To be honest, I don't think Rocky's a counter to Daphnis. I feel like Daphnis will take the first turn and kill your Rocky. It's almost
no, it's not a counter, but it's counter to Triana, because I said Triana, and you're talking about Tyrannies. Yeah. So I think Rocky...
I just recently pulled a Chow, and he's been my answer to Daphnis like this whole time.
Chow was the answer to Daphnis, yes.
Oh, yeah, that thing hurts, dude. That thing will nuke most Daphnises, honestly. True. And it goes through shield. It doesn't care about your shield.
Right through the shield.
Yep. Very true.
I've been liking to use Mo Long against Daphnis. Pretty, like, you just skill 3 instead after skill 1s, or it's pretty good.
Yeah, we talked a little about that, how there's been a bigger rise of Molongs being used nowadays again. What do you think?
Also, Molong's really good on Vampire now with the whole thing going on.
After like 3 years, it's like Barion's like, finally they see it Vampire.
Yeah, it's pretty good on Vampire, I must admit.
Any other buff nerfs to any changes here? I mean, obviously we're still talking about Hathor, but I mean, I think the best way, and I think the way the competition is going to handle Hathor right now is make other units be able to deal with it, or other units stronger. You know, the same way that they've started to deal with Artemil and some of the other units. I don't know.
I think the only way, if they were to just touch Hathor, they'd probably have to do something about the attack bar again. But I mean, it's like going down the road with Ganymede, where they had to hit Ganymede so many times, and now we're going to have to hit Hathor so many times. Or do they bring more units out to buff them to help us in these situations?
The simple nerf they said as well is to add it onto that glancing list that we were talking about earlier. Make it so the S2 glancing doesn't strip. I mean, I think that's okay enough. I mean, she's still strong though, but that definitely would change it. I mean, it would be a step. Like, why not? Right? Why not add Hathor to that glancing S2 list? Her glancing doesn't strip. Make it so she don't do that. And maybe
I don't think there are enough glancing units to really have an impact on that.
No, there isn't.
Yeah, that's true too. But then now, but
like
that's the setup, right?
First skill,
that's a setup, right? That's a setup for making more glancing units now. It's a setup, right? The same way they're setting up threat state, even though I feel like it's almost nothing. It's set up to making more units with threat state. I don't know.
Hello?
Hathor's OP. Hathor's so good. Yeah. You almost have to pick like 2 to 3 units to counter Hathor, and they could just pick like 2 to 3 units to kill the units you counter. Like Hathor Ragdoll.
Can anyone hear me?
Pretty much like...
Yeah, we can still hear you.
Okay. Oh, Plans changed, so I'm here.
Oh, okay. Oh, we got like 5-10 more minutes. We're talking about buff nerfs now.
Back. We're talking about Hathor here. Great.
Oh, great.
Your favorite unit, right?
The unit needs a nerf, dude.
Yeah.
Hathor is by far my best unit. Still needs a nerf.
Well, what nerf?
I personally think, and this is the discussion because Barian brought it up, and I thought it was a really good idea.
Let's hear it.
Is the change to skill 2. Because I feel like her biggest issue is the fact that she sets up other units by stripping.
Okay, so what is the change? Or just in general, it's just change skill 2?
Instead of stripping and sleeping, you don't strip. You sleep and you attack bar.
Oh, what? Pushback, did you say?
It's attack bar pushback with a sleep, but no strip.
I'd be okay with that.
And the reason for that is because she no longer can set up other units on turn 1 because she can't strip.
I feel like double immunity is super strong then.
There are a lot of ways to play around double immunity.
That's a step. That's a step for Hathor. But I mean, players that still run strippers like Gianna and stuff like that, and then with Chiwu now, I mean, it still has Hathor there, right? But yeah, that would be a change for sure. Yeah. I like that. But is that the
Doubling
real
you-
fix? Is that the real fix? I feel like the real fix is to buff other units to make them more valuable, so
I
that
agree
we
with
don't
that,
we don't
yeah.
worry about the
So
Hathor
I
anymore.
think you can buff other units to be viable, but if you're buffing them to the Hathor standard, that's going to be an issue.
It's a change in meta. The meta will always have something that's strong, right? Last year, now Hathor. The year before, Morlong, right? The year before
Hathor.
that, I don't know. There's always something that's strong.
It's been Hathor since like season 4.
Yeah, it's been Hathor for a while, but I mean,
Like,
there were other units that were
And
And
more
then there was
OP.
John, but then they
Guys,
nerfed
yeah.
the crap out of John, right?
guys,
there was
we're on
Jean.
season
They nerfed crap,
12.
but they, like,
That's
just so many
8
units so good
seasons of
against John.
Hathor.
But was Hathor the most picked and the most used throughout the beginning of those seasons? Not as much. There were other threats like Jean and Molong and stuff like that. There were bigger threats, like Yun Hong and
Yeah.
all that stuff. So it wasn't as much into light, right?
I like Jean a lot, but they just Lauren, Vertihill, it's just so many monsters good against Jean.
Right. They made
which is
Masha
like,
for
you
Hathor.
can't
Yeah, they
really
did. They
use
made
them.
Masha for Hathor.
We had
and
the
Lauren.
data for
It's true.
most drafted units throughout the past 2 seasons, and I do believe Fran had number 1, and then Hathor was either 2 or 3 for
And-
most drafted unit out of all of us out of the 2 seasons of SWC.
Yeah. What was the other one? Ragdoll.
Because she's
Ragdoll was in for 5th. It was top 10. It was top 10. 5th or 6th, I think Ragdoll was there. There's a lot of Ragdoll users out there. But it was Fran first. I do believe it was Hathor that followed up. Ganymede came in at number 4. I can't remember what that 3rd unit was because I know it wasn't Lauren because we got Lauren during SWC that people started drafting her regularly.
Honestly, Ragdoll, until you play a count with Ragdoll, you don't know how to play Summoner's War until you play Ragdoll. Really, like a count with Ragdoll, oh my god, just so much different.
I have to agree. I have
I'm
to
gonna ask Ben if I
agree.
can use his account. It's gonna be sick.
You remember, right,
The
Thompson?
gameplay experience is just completely different.
You
when you
remember
have
that?
Ragdoll.
You remember that one night, right? I have to agree with that statement totally.
Thank
right?
you.
I got to enjoy Ragdoll giving you some scrims and using a Ragdoll account and scrimming against you. Oh my god, dude! It was so easy to draft. It's so good, dude. It's so good. Like you don't even have to think about anything. You know, sometimes when you're doing RTA, you're like, oh, I gotta think about attack gauge. Dude, you got Ragdoll, dude. Don't gotta think, dude. It's just like, what moves next? Oh, this one moves next. Great. This is great, dude. This is great.
Going into
Most solo roast
SWC, I
ever.
was like, oh my god, Judas, Diligent, Llama, everybody had a Ragdoll. So I was like, all right, man, I'm gonna find a Ragdoll counter. There's no counters for Ragdoll.
Everybody who had a Ragdoll got knocked out first round.
Yeah, but still, Ragdoll's
Yeah,
a Ragdoll's a Ragdoll, come on.
Yeah, but there is a counter to Ragdoll.
Has a Ragdoll and got into the
Exactly, everybody has one.
There is
Yeah.
a counter to Ragdoll. It's called pre-ban and ban.
Thank
That's
you.
that's
Thank you for
the
your
counter.
advice.
That's the
So that
counter.
you can only do it half the time.
That's why they have it there though. So you can ban it. You can literally make it so you never play against Ragdoll. True or not?
Well, that's okay. So that's why Ross didn't get knocked out in the first round because he's got 2 Ragdolls.
Okay.
Okay.
That is true.
Okay, dude. But technically, you never have to play Ragdoll, Thompson. You never have to play Ragdoll.
Thank you for your advice. Yeah.
It is the right advice. I'm just saying.
But speaking of bust and nerf,
ahead.
Ragdoll, nerf, everyone agree? Or
How you want to nerf? How you want to nerf it though?
All right, as a Ragdoll, okay, let's be fair. As a Ragdoll user, Stoic, do you think Ragdoll needs a nerf? Or no? I don't mind.
Maybe once per unit.
I think more Ragdoll
I
counters.
don't think so because
Okay.
what was it? What was he originally? 10%? Was it 10% attack buff?
15, right?
Really?
No. So he got buffed up to a ridiculous amount, and then he was It was like he got buffed up to 20%, right? And then he got nerfed down to 15. But what was he before that 20%? Because he wasn't always at 20%. He was something that wasn't even 10. I swear it was 10%. It was not even usable.
Hey, you answered my question. You feel like he doesn't need a nerf? He doesn't need a nerf, man.
I don't think he needs a nerf either because it would make people with Ragdoll feel bad. I think they need to make more counters. They just have to give us
I
more
agree.
abilities to counters, and then you can use those and draft those against them, right? And still fight
agree.
against it. Yep. Just give us
I
counters.
don't think we
like
should be
Ragdoll
seeing
is
any more
actually-
nerfs
it's
from here
really
on, to be
hard.
honest with you.
It's really hard
January
to.
Except the
26.
glancing list, no nerfs.
I feel like it's really hard to nerf Ragdoll or make monsters better than to counter Ragdoll because Ragdoll makes everybody better. So imagine they make a monster to counter Ragdoll. Ragdoll's just gonna make that monster that counters him better. Like Masha. Like whoa, Masha Ragdoll's so good.
Like there's 2 examples of units that can be created, right? A unit like Tian Lang for the regular pool, not as strong, but something that can do similar things to that, right? Maybe not the S2, the S1, and whatever. It can be squishy, whatever it is. Similar passive to Tian Lang. And the opposite, a unit that you can put on your field that will make it so that you cannot be attack bar reduced in whatever shape and form. It's just the passive of it, right? That would be interesting as well, right? Those would definitely shake it up. Like, you can affect Verds now, you can affect Lorns now, you can affect Hathors. Like, so many units get affected by this kind of AoE stage present passive, like Mephisto not allowing people to revive just by being on the field, right? He's just there. He just says, screw you guys, right? More things like that would change it if you want some kind of drastic change to those units, for sure, right? Because those are instant counters.
That being said, now bringing up like passives and units that I guess have so much to them, there was a time that we said Leica had a powerhouse passive. Do we feel they keep coming out with units that have powerhouse passives that have just so much involved with them?
Yeah,
I feel like when they come out with stuff, they have a ton of stuff.
The strong ones.
Yeah, passive units are the strongest.
For a long time, passive units were the strongest units.
Yes.
Passive,
Vanessa, Perna, Triana.
Really easy too. All you do is skill 1, skill 1, skill 1, skill 1.
Yeah, or skill 2, skill 1, skill 1, skill 2, skill 1, skill 1.
So easy.
But my point is, I don't think we're going to see any more nerfs from here on. I think we see nothing but buffs and more interesting units coming into the game, because they're setting themselves up for basically being able to do whatever they want when they come out with a unit, because we can no longer say, oh, that's a powerhouse passive. It's got too much to offer, because look at everything else we have right now. They just keep coming out with things that have an abundance of stuff attached to them.
So the problem with all the new unit releases, and we've talked about this on the podcast before, Brian, I actually brought it up, is that what they did, I brought it up when they introduced druids, when they buffed the druids. The problem with introducing new units and what they've done when they introduce new units is they just pick 3 units from the past, merge their kit together, and say, these are all the best things. Have it, new unit. Look at Savannah. Savannah has 100% attack bar reduction, a defense break, and a speed buff for your team.
Speed scaling damage.
What about the fire druid? Right, the fire druid has defense break, attack break, glancing, dots, and a provoke.
Stuns.
And it revenge stuns.
If we all agree that Ragdoll enhances your gaming experience, thousands or millions of people playing Summoner's War without Ragdoll are not having the enhanced experience.
I think you mean millions. millions of people lack the experience.
Yeah.
So
the Ragdoll does not know how it feels like. Brian, stand up.
Okay,
Tell
but
them.
no.
Tell them about the enhanced experience.
I agree. I agree. Summoners or players should get this enhanced experience, but not through a Ragdoll. The enhanced experience will be through the new creation of Second Awakened units and units that are strong that can also be used, right? What if we have more units out there that are like Ragdoll?
Let me ask you a question.
So many different options to use, right?
Okay, then say this. Which monsters could they make that could make Ragdoll, that could counter Ragdoll, but Ragdoll will not make it better?
Units that have strong kits right now, like Gani and Hathor, that have Oblivion as well. Because the reason why Oblivion units like Tessarian are not good is because he doesn't do enough, right?
They're just gonna pick Ragdoll, Gani, Hathor, and you're dead.
What do you mean?
Right? Like, they're gonna pair up Gani, they're gonna pick up Ragdoll with the monster that counters Ragdoll. That's really powerful.
But we need multiple counters. We need multiple powerhouse units to bring up more Oblivion units, right? More units that can affect this gameplay, right? There needs to be more variety of choice, is what it is, right? Different ways to draft, different units and compositions that are strong, right? Instead of just Ragdoll. Right now we know Ragdoll is very strong. Hathor is very strong. Why not get some more different options that are strong, right? As well as have counters to them at the same time.
Does anyone else feel like, and I know we talked about passive units, but I'm just thinking again, like, think about all of the 2A monsters with passives and how strong they are.
There are 2A monsters with passives? Oh yeah.
Nina, Meepo, and Rauk are the 3 super significant ones at the top of my head. Those units are nuts.
They are nuts.
And yet, why aren't we seeing more Tessarian?
Because Tessarian just doesn't do enough.
Because he just stands there.
One unit. And
so the point is, they need to start introducing more Oblivion.
You know the thing is, even if Tessarian's Oblivion...
have you ever brought Tessarian in against Ragdoll, and then you hit the Ragdoll, and then they all get attack bar, and then Ragdoll gets... It's like... It's not a counter, man.
You know, the thing is, like, even if Tessarian had 3-turn Oblivion, he still wouldn't be good enough.
It cleanses. There's so many cleansers out there.
That's the sad... Well, and it's also because he doesn't have enough pressure, right? It's like, if I want to use a unit that has speed scaling and defense, or like enemy debuff scaling or buff scaling, it's like, would I use a Tessarian or would I use an Elsharian now that Elsharian's OP?
Right, like they need to give it to units that have more impact. Like, what if they give it to like a Bellinus? It provokes, but then it also does Oblivion. Like units that you would already use because of their other powerhouse like kits have that extra Oblivion in there, right? So that they can be used as well.
Yeah, I want a unit
with Ragdoll. You're just buffing Ragdoll at this point.
So I know this is
No, we're getting Oblivion.
This is kind of counterintuitive since we just talked about how passives are OP, but I want a passive unit that at the start of their turn Oblivions a random unit.
Like a Celia, but randomly Oblivions?
It's almost like a Celia. Yeah.
There's that one gun guy, the fire gun guy, Fire Covenant. He armor breaks a random unit. He's garbage.
Oh yeah, give him Oblivion.
He's terrible.
Give him Oblivion.
Strip and Oblivion.
Give him what?
Strip and Oblivion. So
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if you make a monster like that, it's just gonna buff Ragdoll.
Change the mechanic of Oblivion. Like you said,
you being a Vertihill against Ragdoll, goodbye Vertihill, you're dead.
Like,
but that's why you need a few options.
A few.
Like
Okay, let's buff a few.
No. If you have 2 or 3 options, then you can always.
Do you
counter
guys
each
see
other.
my point? Like you have to nerf Ragdoll a little bit because every other monster you make stronger, Ragdoll is just gonna make them stronger. Ragdoll is an enabler. He makes everybody on the team better.
You are 100% correct. There is no unit that is good against Ragdoll that isn't better with Ragdoll.
Yeah. Thank you.
Like anything, right? It's like Lauren is the counter to Ragdoll. Lauren does really well against that, right? But Lauren with Ragdoll's even better.
You have to understand,
Doesn't matter.
Ragdoll makes everybody else stronger on your team, you know?
yeah, I mean, I understand your point.
The answer is you just gotta spend more, Thompson. You just
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Didn't you get yours free to play?
me? Yeah, I have both my LDs free to play.
I kick him from the call.
Kick him from the call.
Practice what you preach, Stoic. Oh
I mean,
my
but
God,
aren't you-
giving wrong advice?
Is it fair to say? I mean, I understand your point. I think it's 100% true. But is it fair to say that when you draft against people with Ragdoll, like you could still beat them fairly easily? No, you're either drafting
feel
for the
so
you're
targeted
drafting for their
today.
other 4
Ugh.
units, or you're drafting 4 versus 3 of the units plus Ragdoll because you know that you have an advantage on them already, right? I mean, just in the mindset.
The second they pop that second LD, it's over.
Yeah, but that's a
but
different
every
issue
time
on
you
itself,
click
right?
them, the whole team almost gets it's crazy. Like the speed Ragdoll player needs is not as it's really forgiving.
Yep.
It also depends. Like you can abuse it in some cases where you push the whole enemy team out of immunity, but a lot of the time, if the Ragdoll player has a brain, they're gonna see right through it really fast.
Yeah.
Hey, there's another.
It's really not hard to see when somebody's setting up for turn 2 or see when somebody's setting up for single target snipes, and you can just draft around it. Right? You
True.
slap the Ragdoll on the table early, you're fine.
How do you think it feels
That reviver.
when people know you're a turn 2 player?
Okay, so we're looking at it from a player perspective.
Pick a
Let's look at it. Let's look at it from Comp2Us perspective, right? How many players
Okay.
have issues with the Ragdoll? It's the top players, right? So we have players at the top
No,
with issues
no.
with Ragdoll.
Everybody has an issue.
Everybody
with
has
Ragdoll.
issues with Ragdoll.
Yeah, but it's mostly the top players.
Shizzle.
Yep.
In Conqueror and Fighter and stuff like that, I mean, can you play against anything? Everybody has everything, right?
No, the Ragdoll comes out and you lose instantly at that rank because it's too strong. You don't have the rune quality to keep up with it.
Hmm.
That's the problem. Like in low ranks, it's impossible to beat it.
It's even worse, yeah.
Yeah, in high ranks, at least we have runes to fight it, and we have a good set strategy, and we can survive a turn or 2. Right? In lower rank, it's you've lost first turn because you got first turn, you attacked once, now you lose the rest of your first
thing is
turn, and everybody on your team dies.
No matter how we feel, Comp2Us goes by the data. So they have to look at the data to see how much people are fighting against, how much people are losing, and from what SWC gave them this year, it doesn't help your case because it wasn't a problem this year in SWC. So that's
And that is
it doesn't help our case
100%
that
true.
in
100%.
you're talking top players and they have Ragdoll and they look at the data from the ladder. I don't care what you say, Thompson. They look at the data from the ladder. They don't care how you feel. They look at the SWC. Right, but I'm just saying.
Would have got nerfed.
But there's a huge difference between ladder play and SWC because we have the
Right.
pre-ban in SWC.
That's why I'm saying they're looking at both datas, and if they don't
Because-
see anything, they don't
I get
do
that,
it.
but I
Right?
don't think that's the case, Brian. Because if that's the case, Hathor and Antares would have got nerfed already, right?
True.
I
Who's
feel
not,
like
who's not
you're
to say
also
that they will get
counting.
nerfed?
Okay,
Though?
whoa, it took me a while to
If that
digest.
is the case,
Yeah.
Hathor should have been should have been nerfed a long
True.
time
That's actually a
ago.
fair statement.
So it's
agree.
not
Yeah.
the case. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh.
Yeah.
But they do look at that data, though. They do.
They do. They really
I've
focus
been
on
a
the
part
data.
of that. They
I
do look
look
at that data.
at that data too. All right.
You don't have all that data, bro. And
Do you want me to show you the data again and show you
we
Ragdoll's win rate? I'm gonna pull it.
I'll be honest. No matter what we all say, we're all in some sort of higher bias
I might
than
just
them.
screenshot it.
You know what I mean?
If
Because we
Compass
play
looks
it,
at the
right?
data
We're
for
experiencing, so
Ragdoll,
we're in
oh my
bias.
God.
And we know
I
Thompson's
personally
in
don't
Omega
have a
bias.
problem with a LD Nat 5 being strong either. I know it's a strong unit, but I've
There's
got
a
no
difference
problem with
between
an LD
strong and
Nat 5
oppressive.
being strong.
There's a
Yeah.
If
difference
they're gonna
between
go and they're
strong
gonna nerf
oppressive.
Ragdoll, I want them to take their LD scrolls and bring that rate up for Lightning, because there is no reason for it to be the hottest scroll to pull Lightning on if they're gonna go and nerf LD Nat 5s.
Maybe
Bring
the
it up.
reason
Everybody should be able to get
Actually,
an LD Nat 5 now.
Okay, I disagree with that. And this is coming from somebody who does not have an LD Nat 5, who has summoned a lot of LD scrolls, to have that opinion. And the reason I have that opinion is because this is not a collection focused.
yeah, this is
This
not
is
a collection
competitive
focused
focused game. So I think it's fine
Yeah.
to do it that way.
game. If you want to get every single unit without spending that much, play Epic 7. I have literally
Yeah, no,
every
I
ML unit. I have dupes of all the 4s. Imagine having all the doors. I have every single one. I'm missing like 2 of the ML5s. I have like literally every unit in the game. And I am nowhere near a dolphin or a whale in Epic 7. Nowhere near, dude. And you will have everything, dude, that your heart desires. And if you like that style of game, play it, and we'll see how far that takes it, right? Epic 7 is doing good right now. Who knows? Maybe that's a good style, right? But that's a good style for their type of game. So, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Right? I see pros and cons to both sides of both games.
It's also impossible to change rates at this point in the game. Game's been on for way too long.
Okay,
Wait,
okay, you're showing us this again here.
What did you say about the Ragdoll? Comptos looks at what?
Okay, so top winning rate monsters. So if a unit is picked one time and it wins one time, it's 100% win rate. Is that considered a very good statistical piece of data?
76.5%.
Oh no! Brian said Comptos looks at it. It's okay.
Okay, that's the data. That's the data. So 75% win rate. How many times was
that's
this
all.
picked compared to Fran? Right? If you play any other game, if you play 1,000 matches and I play 50 matches and I have.
Everybody at SWC had a Ragdoll. It just,
But how much was it drafted?
5% of the time it wins.
How much was it banned?
How much was it drafted? How much did it actually get played?
I also think the
you know
ban
how
and
big
pre-ban
of a deal
is
that
really
is,
important too.
right?
Because if the
Now
ban and
it's a
pre-ban
forced
rate
ban
is
and
really
pre-ban.
high,
Now you
Yeah.
gotta get a full team sleep or a full team immunity.
the
right?
higher rate your ban and pre-ban, the scarier the unit has to be. Like that just makes sense, right?
Well,
if you're
no,
pre-banning the unit, it is very
earlier,
scary.
Brian arbitrarily says,
Yeah.
come
Comptos
to
looks
us
at the stats.
At, stats.
You know why that statement is still true? Who made that video?
Come to us.
So are they not looking at the stats and they're giving you the stats? So they know the
okay.
stats.
Yeah,
So
but
it's
they
in their
didn't
head.
look
I'm
at
just saying they're on the
that.
stats.
They don't do anything about it. They didn't look at it.
Yeah, I agree. No, that's why I said. After you said that, I agreed. I was like,
I'm
they gotta do
gonna-
something.
I'm gonna
You're
play
right.
devil's advocate. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna vouch for Thompson here. The
And,
developers are not the same people
And
who make
I
those
usually
videos.
don't mind it, but the fact
That
that,
is true,
it
true.
enhances your gameplay is just like crazy. I mean, like it makes the whole game completely different when you have a Ragdoll.
Okay, but does it make your gameplay completely different in all aspects of the game, or only one specific aspect of the game? I think it's actually worse than worse than a Hathor. Hathor, people say you can use it in TOA and like Guild Wars. You're really not gonna use Ragdoll. Ragdoll's not that crazy better in Guild Wars and Guild Siege.
He's one
PvE.
role.
He has one role.
in
He has
that
like
goddamn.
actually one role. He's one of the few units that have like one role in the game, dude.
You nerf him out of RTA, then he's better. He'll be the best storage guardian you own.
Grogan's like, hey, come down over here to me.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so Ragdoll's 15% now, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
what if they brought him back up to 20, but then made it 1 hit per unit max? So if you AoE, you can get 4 hits. If you hit 1 unit, you can get 20%.
I would prefer him at the 15 AoEs because you.
Obviously, you prefer that. We're trying to make a nerf, bro.
No shit, we're talking about things that would be more balanced. We're not talking about what you want, Stoic.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
I
If
absolutely
it
love
was
that
only
every time
one,
we
so
talk
if you
about
hit
it, Thompson
anybody,
just
it can
brings
only
it
go
back.
up once. No way.
Okay, keep Ragdoll the same, but his effect can only happen once every time he gains a turn. I think this should be the same thing that Antares has too. When he gets a turn,
you should nerf him.
It doesn't matter.
I don't think you should nerf him so crazy that like he's unusable, but he is really a little bit too strong.
yeah,
Is
there
that
needs to
fair
be a
enough?
middle ground. Yes, I agree.
Yeah. And I feel like any other monsters you make from here on out is just gonna make him stronger, you know? And already Masha, Savannah, those monsters all make Ragdoll stronger. You know what I mean? Armor break.
But that's what I'm saying. Units that can prevent attack bar gain, right? On your side or the opponent's side, whatever it is, passives like that can be very beneficial.
Prevent attack bar gain.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's on the field, right? Something like that, because it helps with the vert and stuff too, and attack bar reduction, things that will help your team not be attack bar reduced, right? So against Lorens and Hathors.
Did we go for that? Did we go for that suggestion I had before with attack bar boost? All attack bar boosters cannot gain their own attack bar. Bird can't gain his own. Bastet can't gain her own. Tiana can't gain her own. Anything like that.
Yo, Bird will be really bad if he can't gain his own attack.
But you can revenge though.
Wait, what about Ragdoll doesn't gain his own? So Ragdoll also doesn't gain his own then.
And Ragdoll gains it. See, the crazy thing though is that changes speed tuning, which makes it really, really risky to use those units.
Oh, that's good then.
Really interesting.
That's interesting then. I like that.
The interesting aspect of, and I brought this up like a month ago. Okay. The interesting aspect of this is that if you survive a turn 1 cleave on a Swift setup, you now have a huge advantage because their turn order is different. Does that make sense? Right.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
now when you use things like Verd now has a weird speed tuning, right? He moves once, and then after that he's in a weird position. Ragdoll is the same way.
Yeah, but you're saying, okay, so the unit that busts attack bar doesn't get the attack bar themselves, right?
Yeah, so if you Bastet skill 3 your team, Bastet doesn't gain any attack bar. Everyone else gets 25.
But it has no impact on your cleave team, right?
Well, it impacts your turn 2. So like if you beat that person turn 1, then sure, you beat that person turn 1, you deserve that win.
Yeah, but most cleave teams is either turn 1 you either got a huge advantage or you lost.
But a lot of people run Swift teams that rely on turn 2 as well. Right, the Tiana compositions where they use a Tiana and a Bastet, and then they have like 2 CC units. I don't know. I just the thought is. I'm not saying we should do it. I'm not saying it has to be done. I'm not saying the idea is there. I put it out there in the air for you guys.
Yeah,
I like it.
I want you to think about it because I think it would be something interesting to try at least. Maybe like a special league of it would be interesting. Maybe that's why we should have special leagues so we can try out these different mechanics. And see
I agree with that. I've been vouching for that a while. Like, have the special league keep going, man. Yeah, keep the special leagues going. There's no reason not to have it going so we can test things out.
Also give us rerunes before every special league because that is just bad practice not to.
Yeah, I made the suggestion recently about rerunings, and I think it's not unfeasible to have a weekend of FRR. Like, just make it a weekend, and I think people would be a lot more appreciative of that. You can keep it the same schedule you have it, but just make it the whole weekend. What's the big dealio?
Just make it.
How much you gain on mana? How much you get on FRR packs and loss from that? Not much. Give it to the community to have an FRR weekend. It allows more fun and allows them to try different things for a longer period of time. I think that's way better. And that's it.
No,
I've heard people say give tickets.
Pack is gonna buy it anyways.
Right, like they said, people give people tickets so they can use it anytime. I think that's a little bit more far fetched. It would be nice though, right? I agree. But a whole weekend, that's it. 3 days of FRR, that's it. No, not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. At all. I think that would be great. All right. Any other additions that you want to say or anything else you guys want to talk about?
Actually, I want to see a nerf to Lauren.
How so?
Same.
I mean,
5% reduction per hit on attack bar reduction.
You can't touch free-to-play units. Lauren's not gonna get nerfed.
Oh really? Oh really? Oh, Fran?
No, so the Comptos set themselves up for this. They have the free-to-play metas very, very good. Last uses a lot of free-to-play units. Winner of SWC. The last our last champion of the league. A lot of free-to-play comps. We saw even a Copper Bulldozer. The free-to-play units are so good that allows them to bring in whatever they want. They can bring in a new unit, give it whatever they want. They can do whatever they want because the free-to-play meta forever will always be good now. So if you go and you start nerfing free-to-play units, now they're going to be like, oh, maybe we should buff some more free-to-play units instead of bringing in more Nat 5s that are too good. You know what I mean? They set themselves up for this, and they're gonna leave it.
We're just saying if they nerf Lauren, let's talk about the nerf.
Okay.
Sure.
Just 5% attack bar reduction. Like just make it less. That's it.
Let it rip.
So
Let it rip,
instead of
Maybe
60-40, right?
Maybe just also on her base, that's like nerf or base speed or something.
Oh, I think 102 is fine.
Yeah,
I mean,
She's
for
pretty
example,
squishy as a unit.
The reason why I'm saying Lauren is because you see her everywhere. I mean, I recently went back to G3 Siege, and Lauren is everywhere in every single defense. Like there's no variety anymore.
That's true. On defense, it just like randomly armor breaks a unit and that unit's dead or it doesn't move for the rest of the game.
Why don't you just bring out a dark tank?
Your dark tank dies instantly.
Why don't
But
you
it's not
bring
about
something
the
protective
counter.
than
I
a
mean,
tank?
you
I
can
don't
build
know.
20 counters for siege defenses, but it's still like there's no variety in there.
Ooh, one unit. Since we're talking about units that you guys can use for siege or even in RTA, people were talking about Tractor. Is good against Lauren. Tractor is good against a bunch of different units that are alive right now.
Tractor
Can't
suck.
defense
Tractor
break.
sucks against a lot of other things.
Lauren's gonna kill
True.
everybody else. You know.
True, but he poses a threat. He does pose a threat. No.
You can still reduce attack bar. You can still CC it. You can still
Hey, you
kill
know
it.
who's good against Tractor? Logan.
And Sierra.
Dude, I love Logan. I just been using him. He's so fun, dude. He's so much fun, dude.
And
Logan's
Sierra, yeah. Sierra, okay.
Tractor
So-
will never move against Lauren, but then Lauren is attacking Tractors, so
I do
that's a
think
plus.
Lauren might need a little tweak. Yeah.
Do you think the attack bar reduction is fair?
Butcher her, but a little tweak. Maybe she can't strip. Is that fair or no?
I
Wait,
think
no,
that's
she
too
lost
much.
her power.
I think that's way too
That's
much.
too much?
That's
Okay.
too much. That's too
No,
much.
she can still control and do everything else.
You should
just
remove the
can't
strip.
I think they should just adjust the passive to be lower attack bar reduction because right now it's 20% per hit, right? So it's 60 and 40. If you drop that to 15 per hit, it becomes 30 and 45, which is reasonable because now she doesn't lap people as easily. She already has the slow debuff. She has the defense break. At 30 and 45, you actually have a chance to not get lapped.
The thing about Lauren, unlike Hathor, she counters every unit in the game, right? Maybe a Chroma she doesn't counter, but she counters every unit in the game. Is there a unit she doesn't counter other than Tractor? No, she still counters Tractor because she pushes the attack bar
Attack
back.
bar reduction.
But
Yeah.
that's a win for you because now she's not hitting anything else on your team.
Yeah, but she counters every unit in the game, right?
She can be very effective against everything except
Every
for
unit.
But is that
Josephine-
totally that bad? Because it's everybody can have it. Is it totally that bad? Wait, to make sure. Is it
It's
totally
like
that bad?
nothing-
No, no,
Are you
one
okay with
unit
that?
that counters every unit in the game?
It's like if I gave everybody a ragdoll in the game right now, would it be okay?
No.
Everybody has a ragdoll.
No,
Not
it would
for
not.
story.
be
Not
okay.
for the health of the game, but for your sanity, right? Your thought process right now on the unit, right? Because you're talking about Lauren and you're.
But we're not talking about our personal gripe in the game. We're talking about the health of the game, exactly like you said.
Yeah.
Right? It's unhealthy that this unit is extremely oppressive.
So it's unhealthy
That's
that
why-
everybody can have a unit that's oppressive.
My
my question is-
actually that is unhealthy.
Counter
That is extremely unhealthy.
There's a lot of things that are unhealthy,
Everybody
but is
can have
that
a
really
unit.
that unhealthy? Is like a big
Yeah.
issue?
That's exactly why Fran was nerfed because Fran was oppressive and everybody had her.
Oh,
that was
Fran
an
was
issue.
way
Oh,
too.
Fran's
Fran
done.
was.
Oh my
Fran
God,
was
that
good,
Exactly,
dude.
and
Fran
that,
needed
that,
the nerf.
that is exactly what we're talking about here. We're saying when we look at the longevity of the game,
Mm.
having a
see.
unit that everyone has access to, that's oppressive, overpowered, and always picked, is a bad thing, and we knew that. We knew that that's a bad thing.
Right. So the
Yeah, but
Lauren
they
is
got
at this
Fran
level
just
then.
enough. I like what they did to Fran. They like nerfed her, but she's not dead. And that's what I want
and
for like Lauren, you know,
that's-
What about
that's what we're
changing
trying
the
to
death
suggest
break on
with
Lauren?
like a one-turn death break or
No,
what?
change it to glancing.
Whoa, no, defense break is fair. I like defense break. Maybe defense break. I don't know. It's really hard.
What if they
yeah.
change attack speed
Oh,
slow to
A
glancing?
lot of work for them, cut out for them.
Attack speed slow to glancing.
That's fair. That's fair.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
like just nerf her, but not so much she's unusable. You know, just a little bit. Like she's so good. She counters every unit in the game right now. Really.
Yeah. Yeah, the slow's OP, but the slow's actually good for PvE though, for people that use it in like Necro and stuff. So that's a
Yeah.
tough one too. I forgot about that. That's definitely gonna be
I
a
don't
tough
think
one.
Lauren's in the position that Fran was in though.
You know,
Yeah, it's not as
Absolutely.
crazy. It
When you
needed
notice
a
that
nerf.
Comp just goes and makes these changes, like they came out with the twins and they were like, all right, mistakes were made, we got to change this. And you know, Fran was the way Fran was for a couple seasons or one season, and then they went and they made that change for Fran. So
I must admit,
I don't think they feel like Lauren's one of those units where it's like maybe we messed up with this one.
Yeah, they did. Dude,
You know what I mean?
I
Well,
love
I don't-
looking at people's islands and looking at how they ruin monsters all the time. I just like on random people's island looking at random people's runes. And half my friends have their fastest violence set or swift set on Lauren. That's how good Lauren is. Like you say Invictus, I don't want to name call some people, but
You
like
just name call,
Silent
though.
and just like Make It a Bud or whoever, me in particular. Everybody has their fastest rune, best rune on Lauren. That
Because
tells you
she's
like,
the
whoa,
best
you know,
setup
she's
in the
a
game.
big deal. You
She's
know,
literally the best first turn setup in the game because
yeah,
she's
she's a
light
big deal.
elements.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So a lot
okay.
more other people. I just named a few, and if they watch the podcast, but oh yeah, I do have my fastest set.
There's a couple more things to address because chat is always like, oh, you guys don't care about PvE, or like you guys aren't.
Oh, that's true. I'm sorry, chat. I'm one of those.
So let me bring this up.
Yes.
Because this is really important to tackle right now, and I'm going to shut that down. We're not suggesting that Lauren's viability becomes so bad that she can't be used in PvE. What we're suggesting is to give her a slight rebalance, like what they did to Fran, to make her good, but not the #1 best pick in the game. If we talk about the 5% attack bar reduction I suggested, we deal with the issue of potential lapping, which is really unfortunate in RTA because Lauren can actually 1v2 people, right? Slow debuff, attack bar reduction, violent procs. In PvE, losing that 15 or 10% attack bar reduction is not going to end the world for you. It's probably going to be just fine.
That's actually why I thought about just taking off her strip, because right now there's no counters for her, right? At least like if you bring immunity in against her, maybe if she can't strip the immunity, you have to bring an extra stripper along with her. That requires some type of...
But the issue is, you taking that strip away, you're affecting the beginner players.
No, you're actually not. You're only affecting the RTA side by taking that strip away.
Yeah, but I'm saying like
using the strip for dragons, giant. Well, not so much giants, but dragons. Like, look at the meta team. So for a starter team, dragons B10. Let's name what the new team is, because it's not those old YouTube videos you look up now.
All you have to do is run your team faster, actually, and it won't make a difference.
Yo, actually, I really didn't know you need the strip for dragons, but I'm just saying, like, in RTA wise, I'm not talking about PvE.
Wait, you guys don't use double targ for dragons? I use double targs. You guys
like,
don't use that? I'm just fucking with you guys.
Sometimes don't you feel like
Lauren triple targ? What do you mean?
Sometimes don't you feel like bringing in like immunity is a good counter for Lauren, but then you're like, oh my god, they banned one of your immunities and she stripped other immunity. All of a sudden you have no immunity for the rest of the game, right? So I don't know. Like, I thought about maybe taking her off her strip is a good like a good nerf for her, but maybe it's too much. So yeah, leave it to you guys.
There are tons of other viable options for that strip slot.
But there's no counter for her, you know?
You can run Megan, you can run Bella. 2A Bella is very viable and relevant.
Right now, it's kind of like just who has a bigger dick. Like, who has the faster runes put on Lauren and...
What are you trying to say, Thompson? What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say, Thompson? What are you trying to say?
That have big socks.
Sock stretch.
All right.
That's it.
But like now, if you don't make her, if you take off her strip, maybe like her having first turn won't be so important, and maybe you could bring in immunity to protect your team against all her oppression.
Right, and then she can be drafted in situations where they don't have immunity and still have her power against people without immunity, right? She can control.
Yeah, and you have to bring in a stripper to move before her, or so forth.
Right.
And so
now Hathor moves up a little bit more again because now Hathor has a turn 1 strip.
Her
gets her fast
so relevant for PvE. So I didn't know that. So yeah.
Right.
It's actually just dragons. Because you don't need it for giants.
I see. So we just take away all the strips from all the units, and then Gianna starts becoming the shine of the shiny unit now, and Chiwu starts becoming even stronger.
Gianna is fun.
First pick stripper.
Gianna is fun and really good, but then like everyone has a Sierra, everyone has strippers, so like you could kind of use Gianna, but not really use a Gianna.
You see what, chat, really you see chat? You see when it comes to LD Nat 5s it's a little bit more reasonability. And then when Nat 5s he doesn't have, he will go to the ends of the earth.
Until you guys play with an account with a Ragdoll, you guys will feel
I agree with you though. I'm memeing you, but I agree with you.
Chat, this is why when we talk about LD Nat 5s, you can trust me because I'm the only one in the room that doesn't have one.
I trust you, man.
I'm the only one here who doesn't have one, guys.
Is this a big question that the world wants to know? Are you gonna be rerouting your Gianna now with the violent changes?
You know, I actually feel like Gianna is even more oppressive now on violent. Because whenever they have anything up, she just violent procs and strips everything every time.
People already say it's kind of dumb to have her on violent, but now she's even better on violent.
It's crazy.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, of course you play to a level where speed means everything, and just like if you get outsped, your chances of dying is really quick. Then you have other units, you know. I have like Gianna's not my only unit that's fast. I have every other unit that's really fast, you know.
Okay. What else are we trying to flex? We're flexing chairs. We're flexing.
It's really rare someone outspeeds me, right? So it's just like still, you know.
Except for Crystal's Tiana.
I'm just saying.
Except for Crystal's Tiana.
Oh yeah, Crystal's Tiana, OP. Yeah. I'm saying Gianna's still pretty good on violent. I could change her. I don't know. Yeah.
I'd keep her on violent.
Thank you. Thanks for the advice.
Most people are Swift though. I'm pretty sure like majority of the population knows all Swift Giannas, right? I'm pretty certain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Any other topics you guys want to bring up? We brought up some good ones. I like these discussions where it gets a little hectic. I like it. It gives spark. It gives light to areas that we talked about before, but in different ways. You know. I like it.
I feel attacked.
Why do you feel attacked?
Ragdoll.
I feel attacked. You guys keep talking about LD F5s.
Oh, you want to talk about the F5s? Let's make my light van better.
Yo, next podcast we could talk about how to make Lauren a little bit less oppressive in RTA. Not for PvE.
I'll let you brainstorm. I'll let you brainstorm it. Sure.
Yeah.
I just told you.
Yo, like how much percent attack bar pushback, man? That's too many permutations, bro.
I have 5%.
Wait, so just down 5%?
Down 5% on the passive. Skill 1 is 3 hits, right? Or is it 2 hits? 3 hits becomes 45% attack bar. Skill 2 becomes 30%. You bring it down from 60 to 40, or to 45, and from 40 to 30. And the only reason you do that 5% difference is so you don't get lapped so easily, right? If people still have like really fast runes compared to you, sure, you're gonna get lapped. Or if they violent proc, you're still gonna get lapped. But that's not gonna make such a serious impact to PvE content, right? She still gets her strip. She still gets her attack bar reduction. She still gets her slow debuff. She still gets her defense break. She still gets her heal block.
Leave her strip, attack bar reduction reduced, that percentage that Tyler said, and change attack speed slow to glancing, and the RTA, you won't have to worry about getting lapped, right? I'm actually being serious, right? No attack speed slow, then you won't be lapped, for sure.
Attack speed slow is okay, because you can't take that away from PvE. Like, that's actually really important.
Oh yeah, PvE attack speed slow. Oh, my bad. That's right. Glancing is not that good. No. Because you need that attack speed slow for neck roll.
Glancing's gonna get buffed, so applying glancing to unit, I think is a good way to change / nerf a unit, because guess what? There's gonna be more units added.
Thompsin, do you remember when we talked about, we were with Obabo and Talkish, and we talked about nerfing Diana, and everyone was like, she shouldn't have extra turns, and I was like, why don't we just reduce her damage a little bit, or reduce her shield a little bit? This is that exact conversation again with a different unit. I'm saying we should make this small change to balance. Everyone's like, no,
sounds like that.
We need to make huge fucking... We need to make these huge changes. These units have to be burned to the ground. No, they just need to be adjusted a little bit, and then they'll be fine.
Yeah. The thing is, Comptuous is looking at this and going, why do we need to nerf anything while we're doing such a good job at addressing units? Diana, after this violent change, is kind of sitting more in storage now. Artemil, with the release of Elucia and Lauren, has sitting in storage now, or not as used as effectively anymore. They are finding they found ways to effectively, like in their mind, they find this as success. I'm telling you guys, I think so. They find this as success. They're like, oh look, we were able to address Artemil. Oh look, we were able to address Diana a little bit, right? So they're finding ways to change without nerfing. So I don't know if these nerfs will come into play, right? I'm just putting this out there. I'm not saying. I don't know what I'm saying.
Really good this season.
What's that?
Artemil is really good this season.
Yeah, with the violent change, right? That affected him a little bit as well. Makes him a little bit stronger. True.
I'm starting to take him out of my storage and use him a lot more.
Oh yeah, you have Artemil. That's right. You have everything besides Ragdoll. That's right. I got you. Hey, you're not here for 2 weeks. I'm allowed to give you as much crap as I want, dude. All right.
Hey, you can't make fun of this old man, all right?
You're not old. How old are you?
40.
Holy! No, you're not 40. You're not 40, right?
I feel my bones feel like I'm 40.
What the fuck does that even mean? I've never heard that.
I feel it.
All right, anyways, we got some great discussions this week. It's good to have you back, Thompsin. Chris, Tyler, Stoic, thank you guys for joining me as well. I like the banter, right? I do apologize, though. I know I've been looking at the audio settings, and it's tough. The reason why I can't fully balance is because Discord is kind of wonky with sound. The stream is wonky with sound, but mostly because everybody has different mics and different settings. So it's really hard to equalize, but I try my best to equalize everything, so do bear with the sound, right? But it's great that we had a lot of discussions today. Lots of banter. This is good. This is good. This is the makings of change, right? If you guys are watching for YouTube, make sure you guys leave that comment down below. I always go through everything in the comment section Sunday, Monday-ish before the next podcast. As well as if you guys have not hit that subscribe, hit that subscribe. We got these podcasts every week along with daily videos. And we're going to put all their links to their Twitch channels down below because I believe all of them will be streaming. Hopefully, Chris, maybe we'll stream a little bit more. I see you once in a while, right, Chris? Once in a while.
Yeah, I should stream more. I know.
Yeah.
Chris, Legends Arena Legends Rush.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that because then I'm exposing everything.
Oh,
That's why I want to watch
true.
That's why I don't want to do it.
Just do a private, just do a private stream for us,
Yo,
Chris.
Could you do it, but without showing your runes? Could you do that?
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I know quite some people that did it, and then people start adjusting their defenses according to what AO you are using, right?
What you need to do
okay.
is you need to private stream it to us so we can learn all your strategies because we're on a different server, so it doesn't matter.
So
Why
you
don't-
can record it and put it on your YouTube. And
Why don't you use it to your advantage?
Excuse me,
Like
I would never expose a friend. That's
that
wrong.
would be fun for you, Chris. Use it to your advantage by streaming and giving out methods that would shift your opponents to do things that you want them to do. Technically, you know what I mean? If you say something, you know, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
You don't want to be a stream liar.
The week that you're busy,
No.
the week that you're busy, you
Yes.
purposely lose to everybody. So they think their defenses are good, and then the next week you just destroy everyone.
Next week is Tableau. I need that shit. Yeah. This is the best defenses this week, guys. All right. Yeah. I'm gonna put the links to all the Twitches down below. Everybody streams at different times. Thompson was stream a little bit more. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video or podcast. Peace out.
Thanks for having us.
All right, guys.
Take care,
Great
guys.
podcast. It's a long one today. Really good one.
Yeah, I went for a while.
See you guys. Peace.
See you guys.